All right, greetings everyone. My name is Steve, as y'all know, Stephen Gills. Some people may know me as Blue. Some people may know me as SPG, Crazy Blue. Those are some of the nicknames that I had, coming up back in the day or whatever, or even a few years back. But I'm here today to, just be real, just be upfront, give y'all all of me in the most humble way, in the most truthful way, to give my full testimony of my eventful life that I've had, that ultimately had God come into my life to stir me up, turn some things around, and He touched me to the point where I've pretty much done a complete 360 in my life or whatever. So I don't have this is all raw. There's no, as you can see, no big nice background or nothing like that. This is just raw footage. You know what I'm saying? So just bear with me. You feel me? Ain't nothing edited or nothing like that. Just me being raw, just giving my full interview, my full testimony. And I'm gonna take it way back. So I appreciate everybody who's taking the time out to listen to it. And I appreciate everybody, and blessings to all y'all. All right, friends, family, strangers, whoever. All right, but I will have to go back and talking about my life, my eventful life. I will have to go back all the way to my childhood. Just coming up or whatever as a teenager, growing into my early adulthood. Um, I had some pretty interesting things that happened in my life. Um, I was raised by my mother, me and my brothers. I have four brothers, and then later on ended up getting a little sister in 1997. I'm originally from Michigan, Battle Creek, Michigan, and I moved down to Atlanta, Georgia in 1993 with my family. My my older brother Robert, he's deceased now. He died in 2016. I'll tell more about that later. Um, he was already affiliated, with the Crips, with the Kelly Park Compton Crips. Back in that time, in 1993, you had a lot of people from New York, Detroit, L.A., like all over the country. You know what I'm saying? That was here in Atlanta, and my brother had got down with some Kelly Park Crips, some OGs from Compton, from California, that had moved here in Georgia. So he was already banging or whatever. And just watching him and watching, all the other homies and everything, getting money and doing what they were doing, I wanted to get down with the set too, because it was real tough. My mom raising four boys on her own. Like we didn't really have it like that. She did the best she could, you know what I'm saying, struggling or whatever. And there was times where we ate, but we may not have eaten what we wanted to eat, you know what I mean? Or we didn't have, all the nice clothes that everybody else had, in school or whatever. We came up in the hood, you know what I'm saying? So by me seeing all these people, you know what I'm saying, that was gang banging, they was getting money. And there's one particular set, and he my homeboy to this day. His name was Blue too, from 19th Street. It was a 19th Street Long Beach Crip. All his homies, all his little homies, he would give them money, buy them clothes. They was eating good or whatever. I'm like, man, I'm sitting up here eating beans and rice every day. You know what I'm saying? Or drinking milk just to get full. I'm like, I want to get down with the set. They getting money or whatever. So when I was 11, I think it was like 1995, 1995, 96, yeah, 95. Um, I joined the Crips. I wanted to get put on the hood. I got jumped in by two OGs. One of them was my brother. And this cat named Ghost. He's still my homie to this day. I got put down in the hood. I had to fight two grown men. You feel me? And it was 60 seconds, which was like the longest 60 seconds of my life, because you had one girl, her name was Teardrop, and she was counting the whole 60 seconds real slow, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's taking forever. So I got down with the set, and ever since then it was on. You know, I was putting in my work. I learned my knowledge book and everything. Did what I had to did what I had to do, and not to get too in detail with all of that with that lifestyle. I've been crip for a real long time. I've been crip from 11 to 33. So from me being a kid to a teenager to growing into my adulthood, I was actively banging, the Crips, putting in work, making my money, trying to survive, you know what I'm saying, trying to have a better living than what I already had, you know what I'm saying, and it was I would say 50% was good and 50% was bad, and to put that in a nutshell, I did a lot, I did a lot that I'm not proud of. But it's some things I am proud of because a lot of people don't know about gangbanging. A lot of people they just know what they see on TV or what they hear, But I would just say 50% was good, 50% was bad. Um, I always kept a job, I always kept a job. Even when I first started working at 14, I remember I got my first job at Chick-fil-A. So even though I was working, I was hustling, slanging a little weed here, slanging a little weed there, putting in work for the set at the same time. I always kept me a job. But I was messing up in school or whatever. Messed up in school a lot. Got kicked out of public schools, had to go to the cab alternative school or whatever. Just kept messing up as a teenager, and as a teenager, when I was 15, I started selling weed big time. It was me and a few of my homeboys from around the way, from my city in Decatur. We were doing our thing, and we had a good connect with the Mexicans or whatever. And I was just a young cat, just walking around, catching the bus, doing my thing. Um, Even though I was in the streets, I always had that spirit talking to me, always, because I had a good upbringing as far as, my mother, my grandmother, and my great grandfather, Grandpa Williams, rest in peace, always told us about, the Lord. Always told us about Jesus Christ, just like every other black family, you know what I'm saying? We was raised in the church, always going to church, so I always had that spirit in my ear or in my heart, and always wanted to make a change for the better. And even when I was in the hood, smoking weed and drinking and kicking it on the block and everything, I I used to always have conversations about God. Some of my homeboys, they'd be like, "Oh man, I don't want to hear that, man, right now. I don't want to hear that, da da da." You know what I'm saying? But I ain't care. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like whenever I used to smoke weed, I talk about God even more. But I always wanted to change or whatever. Um, Kind of to backtrack a little bit, my friend Michelle, we call her Blue Rose, Michelle Doherty. I was 14. No, we was 13 when she got killed. She didn't die gangbanging though. She got killed in Alabama. That had nothing to do with gangbanging or nothing like that. But that was like my first friend that had actually, that got killed, that died, and she was real. She was like an angel. She was like an angel to me and my brothers and my homeboys and my C's, from the set, and that really took a lot of toll on me or whatever. But back then, everybody was free. Wasn't nobody in jail. Wasn't nobody sprung out on drugs. Nothing like that. We was always doing our thing. Um, and to jump forward, I knew that I had to have some type of stability, something to fall back on. So I didn't want to be no failure. I always feared, you know, being a failure. I didn't want to be a bum. I didn't want to be out here poor or nothing like that. So I said, if I do anything, I at least need to get my high school diploma. So that was my whole mission. But I was behind, from getting, expelled from school, all the suspensions and stuff I had that led up to expulsion or whatever. I got behind. And one thing I didn't want to do was go back to, my school, Druid Hills, and then, be a grade behind or whatever, not be in the class with my peers. Like, I didn't want to do that. So my grandmother, she told me about the school in Michigan called Operation Grad. And up there and up north, you didn't have to have all these credits, to graduate from high school like you did in the South, especially at Operation Grad. So my grandma told me about it, and I was like, bet, I need to do that. This is what I need to do. I need to go on up to Michigan so I can go ahead and graduate on time. So, in the midst of me, before I went up there, like I said, I was hustling. I was in the streets. I was making money. I probably made more money when I was 15 than what I'm making now at 35, about to be 36. And I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave because Atlanta had all the women. I was a real boss player at 15. I was, getting older women. When I was 15, catching women that was 25. Because I always been tall. I felt like I looked pretty fair, I always had good conversation just from hanging around a lot of older people all my life or whatever. But I wanted to leave. And it was this guy who was a part of our crew, not in the Crips, but he was a part of our crew when we was slanging weed. And he was a GD, he was in folks. And we kind of clashed heads all the time, because I was the youngest out of everybody in the block. And but I had the most heart, I was real skinny, skinny and tall, but I had the most heart. I fight. I always kept my gun on me, ready to shoot, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't intimidated by nobody. And one of the cats who was supplying me, the weed or whatever, we was cool, we was cool, but we weren't cool. He thought he was my OG, but I'm like, nah, man, you're not a Crip. You're not my OG. I respect you. Because you folk. Whatever. We cousins to the folk. But I was like, you're not my OG. So we clashed. Anyway, needless to say, um, I made sure that I got rid of that last batch that he gave me real fast, so I can go ahead and get more. Because my whole plans was to go to Michigan, so I can go ahead and graduate from high school. So my grandmother came down from Michigan, and I was like, I'm leaving back with her. I wanted to leave back with her because I felt like, I wanted better. I at least wanted to get my high school diploma. So I went to my homeboy, or my so-called homeboy, and I said, hey, what you gonna give me, man, when I get rid of this last little bunch? I need more or whatever. And he was like, I'll give you X, Y, and Z. So it was a way big amount than what I used to always do, than what he used to always give me. So long story short, he gave me my next pack. And I took that and I went back up to Michigan. And did my thing. I did my thing in Michigan. I went through a whole lot or whatever, but I ended up going to Operation Grad. I learned how to film at Operation Grad. One of my teachers saw that I had a good eye for filming. So I learned how to film. I started doing stuff with my time. Rather than just being in the streets or whatever. Even though I was in the streets up there a little bit, but I still was filming on the side. I got into while I was in Michigan. I got into the dope game. I started selling crack. And I was like 16, 17 when I started selling crack. And it's something that I regret to this day, because I don't believe in destroying my people. But it was something that I had to go through. It's something that I went through and that I had to go through, experiencing that life and just seeing, the damage and destruction that it does, that it can do to people. While I was out hustling and hanging in crack houses and all that, and making money, and doing all this and that, people were getting killed. You know, people were getting shot. You know, I would just leave from somewhere and then somebody would get killed. You know, that was just like the everyday thing in Battle Creek, Michigan, or whatever. Um, right before I was about to graduate, I probably had like, I don't know, a semester left, you know what I'm saying, before I was about to graduate. And I found out who my real dad was. I always knew my dad, but I didn't know that he was my dad. And I found out through the grapevine that he was my dad. So it was tough. It was a hard pill to swallow. It was a big blow for me at that particular time. I was 17 years old, and I was like, man, you know, what a time to find out. You know, right when I'm trying to graduate, I don't need no stress on me. You know what I'm saying? So my mother, she had told me who my real dad was. It hurt. Um, it hurt a lot. But my grandma, she talked to me a lot, and she basically comforted me, and she eased my soul. And I just prayed a lot, or whatever. And I had got over that, or whatever. And that didn't do nothing but get me closer. You know what I'm saying, to my dad and my other brothers and sisters and everybody. Some of my family didn't like it. You know, they wanted to keep it a secret. You know, and I thought that just wasn't real. You know, um, one of my sisters didn't even want me to be on our dad's obituary when he had passed away. You know, and I just thought that was real tough. You know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of cold hearted. You know, because like I didn't I didn't ask for this. You know what I'm saying? I was a product of what happened. You know, I felt real nasty. I felt real sick, you know what I'm saying, in the inside. Because, you know, I just felt like how everything had went down. It was just scandalous. You know what I'm saying? But I've always been a truthful person. And no matter how much a scandal had went down, I just felt like, you know, the truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? And we need to always be real. But needless to say, I got over that. And I graduated. You feel me? I got my high school diploma. That was like the biggest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, you know, just being back in Atlanta, being back here in school. You know, everybody always was looking for me to fail. You know what I'm saying? The principals and everybody. One of my brothers he was on the news or whatever. He and another guy had got caught up in a situation. They caught a murder case. You know, they caught an armed robbery and a murder case, and they was all over the news. And you know, they said his full name on the news and his picture and everything. So when I went back to school, I had everybody looking at me crazy because it's like, okay, well, this is little brother right here. Like, man, your brother a killer, whatever. Da 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 da. But you know, they was just charges. They was charges. You know what I'm saying? And you know, my brother, he really didn't kill nobody. His homeboy, the one that did the killing. But to everybody else, it looked like that my brother was the killer, and I'm his brother. So everybody looking at me, you know, like, oh, you know, there go one of them Gills boys. You know what I'm saying? So I was always like the target. And at that particular time, all my brothers was end up. They all went to prison. Every single last one of them. All my older brothers went to prison. So I was the only one out here. Um, but while I was in Michigan and I graduated, I remember emailing my one of my favorite teachers, Miss Roy. She was one of my math teachers, and I emailed her a picture of my diploma, and I said I did it. You know what I'm saying? And I was just so happy, and I was so proud that, you know, everything I had went through, you know, gang banging, hustling, getting kicked out of school, all the odds being against me. You know what I'm saying? I still buckled down, and I graduated. You know what I'm saying? With high honors. You know what I'm saying? I was a and B student. You feel me? So that was real big for me. You know. Um, got my diploma or whatever, and one of my brothers got jumped on down here in Atlanta by some Mexicans. It was some Mexicans who we used to be like real cool with or whatever. You know, they were in this gang called Sir 13, and they left my brother for dead. They beat him real bad. You know, with brass knuckles. Um, beer bottles and everything. They left them on the ground for dead. So when I found that out, I was like, oh man, I'm about to move back down to the. Hey, I gotta go. I gotta go see about bro, man. So I end up coming back down to Georgia or whatever. Um, well, I'm backtracking. I came back down to Georgia or whatever to go see about that. Um, and I'm coming back to Michigan or whatever. Stay for a little while and got caught up in the streets again. I got caught up in the streets and I got jumped on. I got into it with some mob cats. They had this gang called Mob back then or whatever. And I was a Crip. You know, I got jumped on real bad. Could have got killed. You know what I'm saying? I had my gun on me. I was in a gambling joint and got into it with this cat at the door. And the next time I came to the gambling joint with my homie, there we go. We get into it. And right when I was, he had grabbed me. And right when I tried to pull my gun out. My gun got stuck on my belt. And next thing you know, boom, somebody just out of nowhere hit me from the side. And I blanked out, but I was still standing. But I ain't have my gun in my hand no more. So I'm like, well, I'm looking around like, you know what I'm saying? Man, what's going on? So by then, everybody coming at me. So I'm just fighting like a mug, just trying to get on up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fighting everybody, trying to get the gambling joint. Going to the parking lot, you know what I'm saying? Fighting everybody. I get jumped on real bad. So something just told me, man, just go to the ground. If you stay up, they're gonna keep on fighting you. They're gonna keep on. So I was like, man, I just went to the ground, made sure I covered my head up, you know what I'm saying? And went ahead and took that whooping. You feel me? And they robbed me too, you know what I'm saying? Took everything. Went in my pockets, you know what I'm saying? Took all of everything. I was like 19 when that happened. And my grandma, she was like, look, you're gonna have to go. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't want no smoke, no heat coming to her house about anything. So ultimately my grandma, she kicked me out of the crib. And went back down to Atlanta. Um when I came back down to Atlanta, it was tough. So me and my brother Robert, he had got out of prison. And he was up in Michigan for a little while when he had got out of prison. So me and him caught the bus back down to Atlanta. I had $80 to my name. My brother had 60. And Robert was a diabetic, you know. But Rob had issues. He was struggling, you know what I'm saying, with addiction and everything. So he spent his money real fast. And I remember we was living in a hotel. We was living on Candler Road at Candler Inn. It seemed like every day the police was kicking in somebody's door. You know what I'm saying? Like every single day or whatever. But it was tough. So when Robert had ran out of his money, it was left on Lil Bro, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that we ate. You know what I'm saying? So I would, try to manage my money well. And I didn't want to hustle. I was like, man, I'm gonna let God go ahead and just take care of this. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to hustle, but I stretched my money, so I was taking care of me and my older brother. And at times he would need his insulin, so I would have to get his insulin for him. I was trying to find ways to make money, and then my brother would get sick. He'd be in and out of the hospital or whatever. So it was tough for me. I was 19, having to deal with all this stuff or whatever. And time flew by. Got me a job working at a fast food restaurant or whatever. And I was like, man, I need to do something, And I was living from house to house. We didn't have nowhere to go. Living from hotel to hotel, didn't have nowhere to go. And finally, my homeboy let me in the projects called Toby Grant in Scottsdale. So one of my homeboys who I had met when we first moved down here in 93, 94, he let me stay with him in Toby Grant. So I was there for a little while. Left there and then went somewhere else. And then finally, after me working, the fast food restaurant, my mom, she was like, all right, well, look, I'm going to give you the key to my house, because she was living in Michigan, but she had a house down here in Georgia. So I'm going to get the key to my house. She said, just pay me rent. You can stay there. So I did that. I did that for a while. I ended up meeting this. I ended up meeting this lady who actually, she was a bulldog. She was a bulldagger. She used to like dudes and women. And I started back hustling, and me and my brother Robert, man, we was road dogs. Like every day, man, we kicking it, you know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, this was back in like 2004, 2004. My brother Kenny was still in prison doing 10 years. My brother Chris was still in prison doing 10 years. And just me and my brother out, me and my brother doing our thing. So I started back hustling because I needed to, you know what I'm saying? Needed to make more money. It was tough working a fast food job, paying my mom rent, paying the utilities. I'm young. I couldn't do nothing. When you're a young cat, you want to have money to be able to go ahead and do things. So the chick who I met, who was Bulldagger, she had a girlfriend at the time, but she was fine. You know what I'm saying? She was real fine. She looked real fair to the eyes. And she put me to the side one day. She said, "Hey, Blue." She said, "I see you doing your thing or whatever." She was like, "I'm trying to buy a house," and she was like, "If I give you some money, can you what's that?" She said, "If I give you some money, can you flip it? How much can you flip or whatever to because I need a certain amount to get this house." So I told her. She gave me the money. I flipped it. She ended up getting the house. Right? I did that for her. I did a whole lot for her, matter of fact. It was times when she would be at work and her kids would be like, "Blue, we don't have no food and we don't have no food in the refrigerator." And my mom, she at work, she ain't getting off till late. So, I'm out here, hustling, doing my thing or whatever. And I'm like, that's what it's all about. If you gang banging, and if you're in the streets doing your thing, it's about helping out your community. So I helped out. I remember I ain't had no car or nothing. I'm riding my bike to the store, you know what I'm saying, to Kroger. Went and got some groceries. I got groceries on each side of the handles, came back, gave them their groceries or whatever. Matter of fact, I used to ride that bike everywhere. Ride my bike downtown Decatur to go pay my water bill. Go downtown Decatur on my bike to go pay my gas bill. So I did what I had to do, you know what I'm saying, as a young cat, as a young man. So the chick, she ended up liking me. And I was digging her too because she was bad, you know what I'm saying? She was fine. So we end up, you know what I'm saying, having sex or whatever. And she left her homegirl, you know what I'm saying, who she was with, her girlfriend. And, you know what I'm saying, she chose me. You feel me? Then I ended up moving in the house with her, you know what I'm saying, that I had helped her get. Um, Needless to say, she had a bad coke problem. She used to snort cocaine. Um, so all the money I was making, you know what I'm saying, she going off into, you know what I'm saying, my pockets, you know what I'm saying. I'm helping her out, get her little stuff or whatever, which I shouldn't have did, you know what I'm saying. Just me being young and naive and foolish or whatever. Um, it was just it was a terrible thing, you know what I'm saying. And then I ended up falling in love with her, you know what I'm saying. So I basically fell in love with an addict, you know what I'm saying. It was crazy. Very beautiful, but just had a drug problem. Um, she ended up getting pregnant or whatever. She got pregnant. Um, she ended up having to leave the house where she was living, where we was living at. But I was going back and forth from her house to my mom's house. Every time we would get into arguments, I go back to my mom's house. You know what I'm saying? But then the last time my mom, she was like, "Look, you're not about to be going from house to house. Either you're gonna be here or you're gonna be over there." You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm gonna go, be with my girl, or whatever. So I left, went back there. We got into it again, and she was 4 months pregnant at the time, and she was smoking weed and she was smoking cigarettes. And I was telling her, you know what I'm saying, I don't want you smoking no weed, I don't want you smoking no cigarettes, nothing like that, or drinking, you know what I'm saying, with my baby in your stomach. So she wouldn't smoke cigarettes around me, but people would tell me, "Hey, Blue, man, I saw your homegirl, I saw your girl, smoking cigarettes or whatever." So I'm like, "What, for real?" They're like, "Yeah." We get into it about it. She'd be like, "I'm stopping all this for you. I ain't doing no more coke no more. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. I'm doing this all for you. At least I can smoke me a blunt. At least I can smoke me a cigarette." So it tripped me out. So I was like, you know what? I was pissed. You know what I'm saying? So I grabbed her keys, you know what I'm saying, to get the car. So I just go ahead and ride on off, you know, to clear my thoughts or whatever. And she didn't want me to go, so she grabbed me and she tried to fight me and stuff, you know, scratching me up, scratching my face up or whatever, blase blase. So I'm like, man. So I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, push her back. When I'm trying to push her back, I end up hitting her, trying to push her back, you know what I'm saying? So she was like, oh, you gonna call it? She said, oh, you gonna hit me? I said, man, don't even play it like that. So she called the police. I'm like, man, she pregnant, man. I'm about to go under the jail. You know what I'm saying? And I just got all my stuff, got to walking. It's January, it's cold. Got my suitcases. I'm just walking in the cold on Central. You know what I'm saying? And called my homeboy up to come pick me up. My homeboy came, picked me up, took me to my mom's house, and I'm just hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm hurt. I'm hurt because I'm like, man, I can't believe this is happening. You know? And I'm just crying, man, pouring out crying. And my mom seeing my face, my grandma seeing my face, because she had came down here too. She was visiting. And she was like, you know what? She was like, you got to get out of here. You got to go. You know, she was like, all my sons is locked up in prison. You're not gonna, I'm not gonna have you going. You know, not my last son. So my grandma bought me a plane ticket that morning, that day, and she bought me a plane ticket to L.A. And I went to California, and I stayed in a hotel. No, not a hotel. I'm tripping. I said a hotel. I stayed in a shelter in East L.A. in 2005, and that was the time when the Mexicans was at war with the blacks or whatever. And I stayed in the city of Bell, the city of Commerce, you know, East LA. It ain't nothing but Mexicans over there. And here I am in the shelter, you know what I'm saying? And it's full of Mexicans, and they got this black and brown, or the brown and black war going on or whatever. And it was crazy. And here goes some of the, I put together a little collage or whatever of my hard times, you know what I'm saying? So as you can see, this is East LA. That's my homeboy right there. This is a collage, so I'll just put him in the picture right here because this is the time he was the one that that picked me up and took me to my mom's house when I was leaving. You know what I'm saying, trying to evade the police. This is me at the shelter. You know, blued up, cripping it. You know, as you can see, looking all stressed out. I was looking very stressed or whatever. And that's, as you can see, that's in 2006. This is a little spot I used to always walk to when I used to go give me a taco and all that stuff to, you know, eat and clear my thoughts or whatever. But it was hard times, you know what I'm saying, going through that. I went out there, my mom's brother, you know what I'm saying, he always been a thoroughbred. He's been in the streets, you know what I'm saying, been in the Marine Corps, you feel me, you know, hung around all kind of cats, you know, all kind of gangsters, pimps, hustlers, whoever, you know. I give big ups to him because he actually took it upon himself to come stay with me in the shelter when he did not have to. And every single day he talked to me, you know what I'm saying, trying to uplift me. Every single day, you know what I'm saying, he schooled me and gave me knowledge and gave me wisdom. Got me on the bus, on the LA Transit, and showed me the whole city. He took me to the good areas, he took me to the bad areas. He wanted me to see the whole LA. He showed me where to go, where not to go. Tell me what kind of language to use, you know, tell me where I can say cuz and where I can't say cuz, you know, just, you know, taking me everywhere, you know, took me to Compton, you know what I'm saying, where my set is at, you know, Kelly Park, took me to Compton, you know, to the casinos and everywhere, you know, and just showed me the whole ropes of LA. And, I loved it, fell in love with it. And when I was out there, y'all, I seen the difference in gang banging. I seen the difference in how people gang bang in Michigan and Chicago in Atlanta, here in Atlanta. And how they gang bang in LA is a totally whole different get down. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that people do, the stuff that people get away with here in Georgia or Michigan, you cannot get away with that in LA, period. I saw a whole different light. I was in the middle, you know what I'm saying, of a war. I was literally in the middle of a war on Lamert and Crenshaw on Martin Luther King's Day back in 2006. I'll never forget it. You had the Bloods coming from this side, and then you had the Crips coming from the west side. Then you had the Bloods coming from over here, um, from the jungle or whatever. And we was at Lamert Park, and they just clashed, you know. And I'm seeing police on horses, they billy clubbing, you know what I'm saying, black folks, you feel me, the gang bangers or whatever, putting everybody inside the gang unit vans, you know what I'm saying. Somebody had got shot at the Crenshaw Mall. It was crazy. It was just a lot of stuff going on, like, you know, and like every day, you know, it was a high speed chase, you know, somebody getting killed on the gang banging tip, you know. It was like banging tough out there, you know what I'm saying, way far from what these cats is doing here in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, period, point blank. And to be honest, y'all, when I was living in LA and experiencing that whole lifestyle, you know, my heart changed. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, this shit kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying? Out of control. When I say stupid, I mean like just out. It was stupid, crazy. It was out of control. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, too many. You know what I'm saying? Too many niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Brothers is dying. You know what I'm saying? Killing each other and getting put away like that. You know what I'm saying? It was just always constantly. You know what I'm saying? Just beef going on. We had beef like that, you know what I'm saying, here in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, but not like how it was in LA, you know what I'm saying, the home of the Crips and Bloods. So I had a whole different outlook, you feel me, on the gang banging tip, right? So I ended up the lady who I had got pregnant, she ended up, you know, she was calling me. She found out where I was at, you know. One of my brothers or whatever, he was out, Rob was out, and he actually told, you know what I'm saying, where I was at, because I didn't let her know where I had went to. My whole thing was I was trying to leave, get out the way. I didn't want nobody to know where I was going, because I feel like the police was after me. You know what I'm saying? She found out where I was at. She said, you know, I need to be there. She's pregnant or whatever. So I'm like, I need to be there with my girl. You know, she got my baby in her stomach. So I left. And right when I got on my airplane, I'm in the air, I get a phone call from this job that I had applied for on Wilshire Boulevard. And they wanted me to come in for an interview. And I was like, man, I'm on my way back to Atlanta. Came back to Atlanta. When I got here, the baby wasn't even in her stomach. She got rid of my baby. And that hurt a whole lot, you know. That was real tough. You know, it was real tough. It took a toll on me or whatever. She had an abortion at 4 months, but she didn't tell me she had an abortion. She said she was having complications with her pregnancy. So I went through that. I forgave her, you know what I'm saying, for or whatever, just to speed the story up a little bit. I forgave her for it. We got cool or whatever. And then we got into it again. She just wasn't right for me. And my stuff was in her storage place. I had all my obituaries of my homeboy, Tyrone, that got into an accident when he was in when I was living in Michigan. My next door neighbor Smooth obituary. My best friend Michelle's obituary. I had all my obituaries, you know, in that storage place. I had all the pictures of like when I was a kid, you know, when we was gang banging real tough, you know what I'm saying, coming up. everything. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my poetries, a lot of my poems, everything. They were in the storage facility. And one day, when I was riding by with my used to be homeboy, I saw her at the storage place with some cats, some niggas. You know what I'm saying? And they was getting getting my stuff out with her stuff. So we rolled up. My homeboy, he was like, man, don't let them do that, whatever. You know what I'm saying, man? Go get your shit. So we rolled up on him. He had his gun or whatever, and we never did pull nothing out, but we had them straps just in case. You know what I'm saying? You know, they try to go ahead and act tough or whatever. So once she found out that they weren't gonna do nothing, she called the police. Police came and said I couldn't get my stuff because my name wasn't on the storage unit. So make a long story short, she took all my stuff, whatever, and I ain't never seen it since. And that was real tough because I had a lot of real valuable stuff, man, and real heartfelt stuff that was in that storage place or whatever. So after that, that was it. That was a done data. I went through a lot of heartbreak because she was my first love or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So after that, I was like, man, I ain't dealing with nobody no more. To speed the story up, I was still doing my thing. My brother Robert kept getting sick. He kept getting sick. In and out the hospital. You know, his diabetes was messing up real bad, you know. You know, I was constantly finding myself in the middle of the night or all times throughout the day, you know what I'm saying, take him to the hospital, you know, calling the ambulance, you know. And then finally one day he went into a coma. He was in a coma for like 3 days or whatever. He basically had died and came back because his sugar had went up to like 1790 or whatever. So that was real tough seeing my brother and in that state. But he pulled through, he got through. And the doctor told him, say, hey man, if you keep living like this, you know, seeing another 10 years it'd be sketchy or whatever. And so my whole thing was like, man, you know, I want bro to live, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was always trying to, you know, look out for him and stuff. A lot of events happened. Around that time. People used to mess with my brother, you know what I'm saying, when he was frail, when he wasn't that strong and swole like he used to be, you know, they used to try him. So I found myself, little bro, fighting his battles, you know, getting into it with people, you know, pulling out my pistol on people and, you know, checking people left and right, you know what I'm saying, and standing up for my bro. And somebody tried to come to my house with some beef about my brother at my mom's house, and you know what I'm saying, I had to go ahead and check that situation or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Just always constantly finding myself getting into something. If it wasn't gang banging, I was getting into it with somebody in the streets, you know what I'm saying, that was, you know, playing, you know what I'm saying, like trying to play my family or whatever, you know what I'm saying. It was tough. You know, I had a lot of weight on my shoulders. Time went by and my brother was about to get out of prison. So I had to have a conversation with my mom. And my mom, you know, she didn't want to deal with my brother's in my opinion, she didn't want to deal with my brothers when they got out of prison. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reasons. And I know my mom had always been through a whole lot anyway, just dealing with raising 4 boys and then raising a girl. She dealt with a whole lot anyway. You know, she was getting older. So I, you know, if it's something that she just didn't want to deal with, I can understand that because she went through a whole lot. And then just stressing the whole time that her sons was in prison, not knowing if they was going to come home or not. You feel me? So the weight was on my shoulders. They all got paroled to my house. Well, Chris got paroled to my apartment, and then I ended up moving back into my mom's house. It was vacant or whatever. He got paroled to the house, whatever. I was in another relationship, you know what I'm saying, with this older lady or whatever. We both looked out, you know. I didn't have money like that. I was struggling, paying a car note. I was under 25, I was 25 paying a car note, paying this, paying that. Insurance was real high because of my age. I had so much, you know what I'm saying? But I still want, my brothers, they needed help, so I helped them out. And my brother Kenny got out of prison. I helped him out. But then, it was like everything got so tough because it was like, we kept getting into it. You know what I'm saying? I just kept getting into it. You feel me? And I couldn't understand. I'm like, man, I'm little bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help y'all out. But we just kept getting into it, fighting and all this and that. And I shot at one of my brothers one time. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like it was hell, and I was just getting real stressed. Like, I'm pouring out all my love and I'm pouring out my finances. I didn't even have it like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was just getting real stressed, and I had the whole the whole world on my shoulders to me. So I had to sacrifice. I said, I just can't do this no more. So what I ended up doing, I let everything get cut off. I just stopped paying all the bills. I let everything get cut off until everybody just finally just left up out of the house because they couldn't live there no more because there was no water, wasn't no lights, wasn't no nothing. And I stayed with my homeboy for a minute. I had a lot of different things that happened to me. Um, that I'm not going to talk about because I don't want this to be too long. But I want to get to the gist of everything. Speed everything up. So time flew by, and my dad died. That was in 2013. My dad died. Now I had a lot of beef with my dad and my mom for a little minute, but I had a lot of beef with my dad for 9 years because I felt like he knew what he was doing by him being much older than my mom. And I think that I felt, and in my mind back then, I felt like, um, he should have made a better decision, by him being so older, older than her or whatever, and her being so young, I just felt like that shouldn't even have happened anyway. I'm not even gonna get all into what the situation was. Some stuff don't need to be told, but but the ones that know, y'all already know. He died. Um, 3 months before he died, I was in Michigan and I took a picture with my dad for the first time ever. And I told my dad that I love him for the first time ever, and he told me that he loved me for the first time ever. Um, that was in December, and then in March, I had got the news that he had passed away. Um, when that happened, that it hurt a lot because I felt like I didn't have I didn't have I didn't have that father figure there to talk to. I wanted to learn more about him and what was he like. What I'm saying, when he was a teenager, and I wanted to ask him certain questions. What I'm saying, about his life. What I'm saying, and about his dad and his mom or whatever. And I just felt like I got robbed from that. Because I didn't grow up in his household. What I'm saying, I grew up in my mom's house, and we never talked. And even when I found out, that he was my dad, we didn't have that father and son relationship. It was more so him sending me money whenever I needed money or whatever. And um, I had to learn about him through, my siblings and friends of the family and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it was a little tough on me. Um, that was in 2013. I had met my son's mom in that same year, and on Tupac's birthday, June 16th in 2013. And it was all good. Boy, was it all good. You know, she was beautiful. She She was a corporate woman, you know. She wasn't no hood rat. She wasn't ghetto. She run from the projects, you know what I'm saying? She was the type of woman that I had always, you know what I'm saying, dreamed of, right? Um, Real sweet, real nice, always smile. Like, man, don't nobody smile more than me, you know what I'm saying? And here she is, smiling just as much as me. Um, she always did for me, you know what I'm saying? She was always coming out the pocket, you know what I'm saying? Paying this, paying that, giving me money, making sure I'm straight. I was heavily smoking weed back then. If I ran out of weed, she get off work, say, hey, you got some more weed? I'm like, nah. She's like, we're gonna get some more. You know, I'm like, man, you know, she's off the chain, she's bad. Um, but when we met online. And we had sex the first week that we met. And that was a big mistake, you know. That was a big mistake. Um, we got real close. It was more so, I would say, of a sexual relationship. It was just having fun and sex, going out to eat, um, smoking weed, you know what I'm saying, together, you know, drinking and partying and, you know, sex, fun, party, sex, fun, party, sex, fun, party, right? So we got real close. Taking her to Michigan, let her meet my family. I'm like, man, that's the one. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, she can have my baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shoot, she didn't have no kids. She had a good career. You know what I'm saying? And we was vibing real tight. So, I fell in love with her, right? I fell in love with her. Um, and in the midst of me being with her, you know, and us having this escapade, you know what I'm saying? Just being full of merriment. I got the bad news that one of my brothers died. So my daddy died in 2013. My brother Breeze died in 2014. My brother Crusher died in 2016. Um, that was tough to have all those deaths back to back to back. First my daddy 2013, my brother Breeze 2014, and then my brother Crusher in 2015. That was tough. Um, but even through all of that, um, I was getting into it with my son's mom. Um, it seemed like when we wasn't having sex, we was always arguing. You know what I'm saying? When we wasn't partying and having a good time, you know, it was enmity. You know what I'm saying? We was always getting into it. And I remember one day I got off work. I was working at Atlanta Medical Center as a security officer, and my whole routine when I got off work, I used to always, you know, call my baby up, you know what I'm saying? Tell her about this crazy day. Like, look, man, I had to do a morgue escort. Look, man, some people came to the emergency room to try to finish the job off to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. You know, it was just like always something crazy going on, right? So I used to always, you know, tell my son's mom, you know, well, my girl, at that time, my girl, you know what I'm saying, what was going on. And she didn't answer the phone one night, but she kept texting me. And I was just like bugging out, like, man, why you ain't answering? Why you texting me? You know what I'm saying? But you ain't answering the phone. So in my mind, like, you know, I've been in the streets. You know, I've been a player. I've been, you know, in the game. So I know what that means. You know, you got somebody around, so you can't answer that phone, and you know, it's the dude. So I played everything cool, whatever. You know, make a long story short, she tried to lie, say she was doing this, doing that. So I rolled out to her crib, but she wasn't even at home, although she said she was at home. Um, so I'm calling her up, you know, I'm calling her up. And she's like, what? I'm in the bed, I'm asleep, I'm not, you know what I'm saying, da da da. And my niece, she about to go to bed too. She about to turn the lights off and go to bed, da da da. So I start ringing the doorbell, but I didn't hear the doorbell in the background on the phone. So I knew she wasn't there. So once she found out that I knew she wasn't at home, she told me the truth where she was at. Long story short, we get into a big argument once we finally got in person. Got into this big physical fight, you know what I'm saying? And we broke up. We broke up, and I was hurting, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, dang, man, she lied to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here thinking like, man, I thought this was like, like the perfect woman, you know what I'm saying? And but I was still in love with her, and she would never answer the phone. I'd be trying to call her, I'd text her, none of that, you know what I'm saying? So I was like praying, like, Lord, please bring her back, please bring her back. And finally, what I did, I'm praying to God, like, Lord, let her be pregnant, you know what I'm saying? Let her be pregnant, so she'll have to come back. And lo and behold, she came back pregnant with my son, and we got back together. Got back together. Um, we ended up getting baptized together on Valentine's Day in 20. I think it was 2015. Yeah, in 2015. Yeah, we got baptized together or whatever. We had planned on getting married because I'm like, man, I ain't about to have no baby, you know what I'm saying, out of wedlock. God don't like that or whatever. So we got baptized. We did all that. Everything was sweet, but I ain't had no money to get married though. So I was like, look, man, we can go on down to the courthouse, get married. Then once the money get up, we can do the whole celebration thing and, with the family and all that at a later time. But let's just do it right, you know what I'm saying? By God, you feel me? So we won't be in sin, right? Even though we was already fornicating and we had, done had this pregnancy, you know what I'm saying, due to fornication, I still did not want to have a baby out of wedlock. So, it was crazy, man, because I felt that there was infidelity in the relationship, and I'm gonna have to be full honest with you, right? Gotta be honest with y'all. I wasn't faithful, you know what I'm saying, in our relationship. You feel me? I dipped off and did things, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I went ahead and dipped off and had sex with other women because I felt like I knew she was going out doing some stuff because it was evidence shown. Um, and then sometimes I did stuff just because I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Just being a man about it. You know what I mean? I went out and did other things because I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that wasn't a healthy relationship anyway, right? So anyway, as time went by, um, I was there for her, you know what I'm saying, throughout the whole pregnancy. And I was working, like a little part-time gig, whatever. Couldn't find no full-time job, you know what I'm saying? So I'm working a part-time gig here, doing a part-time gig there, doing retail, doing security, just trying to do everything I can, you know what I'm saying, to make money. Um, she had the baby. She had the baby. She had our son. And I was there every single day. Every single day I was there. And after she had the baby, she changed. Her whole get down just changed. And I remember she woke up one day and she said, well, let me backtrack. Because I don't want to leave nothing out. Um, she, I remember we had, she said, I don't want to be in the, no, what happened was I'm trying to get my thoughts back together. So this was in 2016. In 2016, I'll never forget it. It was December 31st, 2016, about to be 2017. My son, he was like 14 months old. And I woke up, I wanted to get something to eat. And I knew that she didn't want to, eat nothing that would put more weight on her because she just had a baby. So I was like, man, I'm gonna go to Zaxby's. You know what I'm saying? Get something healthy from Zaxby's or whatever. So I'm getting up early in the morning. My son, waking up every 2 or 3 hours. So we both got sleep deprivation. You know what I'm saying? Because we gotta take care of him. He crying and he want to, because he was getting breastfed, so he want to get on the breast to get his, his food or whatever. So we both stressing. You know what I'm saying? We both tired, but I get up. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man, right? I get up, go get the food. I always told my son's mom, always have your phone by you because anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to always be in a place where you can call me, call the ambulance, whatever. I had forgot what she wanted. I had forgot what she wanted to order to eat. So I called her up, and she wouldn't answer the phone. Call her in again, she didn't answer the phone. My brothers, they was over there too, because they had stayed over there because we were supposed to be, hanging. It's December 31st. We were supposed to be hanging out later on that night after I went to my security job. So we was gonna be kicking it and stuff. So they over there, I get back to the crib. So what I did was I bought her a salad because I forgot what she said she wanted. So I bought her a salad because I'm like, she complaining about her weight. She want to get back to how she used to be. Come back to the house. So I'm like, yo, why you? I was trying to call you. How come you didn't answer the phone? So I forgot what she said. But anyway, I said, well, I didn't know what I was calling because I didn't know what you wanted. So I went ahead and got you a salad. She said, what the fuck am I gonna do with that? I'm hungry. So she's like, I don't want that shit. So I was like, I sat up here and just got up early in the morning, you know what I'm saying, to go get us something to eat. You ain't answer your phone, and now you want to be mad, you know what I'm saying, and trip because I bought you a salad, something healthy. She said, that ain't gonna fill me. That's not gonna fill me up. What am I gonna do with that shit? So I'm like, oh. So I'm taking it out. I take the salad out the bag, the little plastic bag or whatever. I bought a plastic bag up, bought it up. And I threw it at her. I said, well, next time you go get it. And she smacked me in the face. Wow. Now, I box. All right, for those who don't know, I box. I've been professionally trained, right? I'm trained to throw two. If you throw one punch, I'm countering with two. She threw a punch at me, an instant reaction. You know what I'm saying? When she slapped me, instant reaction. You know what I'm saying? I went at her, you know what I'm saying? And I punched her 2 times in the face, right? Not proud of it. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? That was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. Because I'm not a woman beater. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to honestly say, I hit her back when she smacked me in my face. When I hit her back, I'm like, oh shit, I just messed up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. And at that particular time, she was holding my son or whatever. But I knew, even though it was a spur of the moment reaction, I knew, you know what I'm saying, not to go all the way in on her. I wouldn't do that no way because she's a woman. It was instant reaction. So she hold him, she slapped me in the face, so I hit her back, boom, boom, whatever. She's like, Dee, call the police. So I'm like, how you gonna call the police on me and you hit me first? I just couldn't understand it. So I was like, man, I gotta get out of here. So I grabbed my gun, grabbed my stuff, got in the car, boom, rolled on out. Right? So next thing you know, she done pressed charges on me. So I ended up having some warrants out on me. So what they did was they charged me with cruelty to children because my son was around when we got into the fight. They charged me with simple battery, and then they charged me with interfering with a 911 call. And as a matter of fact, it was, yeah, that's what it was right there. No, it was two simple batteries because I guess in the state of Georgia, if you just walk up to somebody like, "What's up?" or if you just walk up to somebody in their face, that's considered simple battery as well. If you walk up on somebody in an intimidating way. So I had all these charges. So I'm like, man, I ain't about to go to jail. So I left. I left the state and I went up to Michigan. That next day I went to Michigan. Um, didn't really have no money or nothing. Went to Michigan. It was cold, snowing. Um, thought I was gonna get some love up there from my family, but man, they was up there struggling themselves. You know what I'm saying? Um, didn't want to bring no smoke to my mom's side of the family or at my grandma's house or whatever because it was like, you know, they weren't gonna let me come no way. They know I'm running from the law, so I stayed with my dad's side of the family. Right? It was crazy. So it was so tough, man. It was tough. I'm back home, and I had it worse back home than what I had it down here in Georgia. So basically, I got me a job. I said, man, what I'm gonna go ahead and do? I said, I'm gonna cop me a job, and I'm gonna get my bond money. And when I get my bond money, I'm gonna go on back down to Georgia, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn myself in, go to court, fight the case or whatever, so I can go ahead, and go on with my life. Because I got a son now. I got to raise my son, right? So got a job at a factory. Didn't like it. Worked there a week. Quit. Got a job at another factory. You know what I'm saying? Doing car parts. Didn't like that. Quit. But I still, stay at least a week. You know what I'm saying? So I can give me a week's check or whatever. I got my money up. Right. Stopped smoking weed because I had to clean my system in order to get a job. Right. Did that. Cleaned my system. I was working out every day. Got my money. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I'm about to dip. You know what I'm saying? So I went back down to Georgia. Matter of fact, I ended up getting another job back at Lowe's. And when I was working at Lowe's, I said, if I'm working at Lowe's up here, all I gotta do is just transfer back down to Atlanta. At least when I go back down to Atlanta, I'll already have me a job. You know what I'm saying? So I can survive. It'll look good. You know what I'm saying? Going to court, with a job or whatever, blase, blase. So everything that I wanted to do, I did it, right? So I transferred down to Atlanta, and I was working at Lowe's. My car had tinted windows, and one night when I was leaving from work, I closed that night. I got pulled over. Sandy Springs pulled me over because of my tinted windows. I'm like, man, I know I'm about to go to jail. I got these warrants. They pulled me over. So while they're pulling me over, I'm texting. I'm trying to text my son's mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, so I'm calling her up, I'm like, look, the police behind me, I'm about to go to jail. I got these warrants, you know what I'm saying, that you put on me. Well, I would say that I put on myself, right? But she could have did whatever she could have did, you know what I'm saying, to stop it because we was cool after that, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So she's like, well, just let me know where they gonna take you or whatever, da 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 da. So I get locked up, car gets towed. I go to one jail, then they send me to the other one. Gwinnett County came pick me up. So I'm in there just tripping, man. Like, man, I can't believe this. Like, I done gang bang. I done sold dope. I done shot at niggas. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I done did a whole lot. And I ain't never went to jail, you know what I'm saying? Never got caught for none of that. But here I am in jail, you know what I'm saying, for this bullshit. I'm like, man, cruelty to children, I never be cruel to my child. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. You feel me? It's like they were just trying to stack stuff on me. And I'm like, here I am, you know what I'm saying, in jail for, about to go to jail, or in jail for simple battery or whatever. Like, yeah, I did that, you know what I'm saying? She punched me, I punched her back, bad choice. But I'm like, man, like, out of all things, you feel me? Like, this? So I get locked up. I'm just sitting there, man, on that concrete, man, just thinking. I'm like, man, this is some bull crap. So, lo and behold, she bailed me out, right? I post bond, she bailed me out. She comes and picks me up, right? She put the warrants on me, and then she got me out of jail, right? So get me out of jail, right? Give me my favorite food, right? You know what I'm saying? Zaxby's, you know what I'm saying? So eating Zaxby's, eating good, you know what I'm saying? I'm mad because I'm like, I got locked up or whatever. But I got locked up on my days off. I had 2 days off in a row. So those 2 days that I was in jail, those were my off days at work. So I didn't lose my job. Kept on working. Um, and we was cool, I ended up, you know what I'm saying, moving back in the house, you know what I'm saying, with her. You feel me? Here we are, family, you know what I'm saying? Me, my son, her, everything's all good, right? Um, then August come and I had to go to court, my arraignment, you know what I'm saying? I got bonded out and I gotta go to my arraignment. Went to my arraignment and I'm just like, man, I'm just like depressed because I'm just like, I can't believe I'm going through this. Like, now I'm in the system now, you know what I'm saying? Like, my grandpa always told me, whatever you do as a black man, like, don't ever get caught up in the system. You know what I'm saying? Once you get in it, it's hard to get out, right? So I'm just stressing. Go to my arraignment. I plead not guilty, right? So I wanted me a court-appointed lawyer, and I wanted to fight it. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what I did. So that was in August the 2nd, when I went to my arraignment. And I called my uncle up, my great uncle, who I always talk to all the time, in Michigan. I was like, man, I don't want to go to jail. I said, I got too much stuff going for me. I want my son so little. I don't want no other dude around my son. I got to raise my son. I was like, I need to be free. And I got things that I'm trying to do. I was like, man. And my uncle told me, he was like, Steve, he said, I guess the only thing that you can do right now is ask God for his mercy. And he said, but God only gives mercy to the guilty. So I prayed about it. And I took full responsibility, you know what I'm saying, for what I did. Doesn't matter if she hit me or whatever, I got myself in that situation, you understand? Because I did not have to hit her back. I could have walked away, right? So I prayed to God about it. And I was like, Lord, I disrespected you. I sinned against you. And I am guilty for what I did. I am wrong. And I asked that, he put it in his hands. And that was in August and September. October came. And I'll never forget it. It was October the 6th, 2017. I woke up. We woke up. And then one day, my son's mom, she was just like, hey, Steve, I don't want to be in a relationship no more. So I'm thinking she's just playing games. I'm thinking she's just talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, we would break up on a Friday and be back together on a Monday. We did it a lot. Or we would break up because we got into an argument or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Then we would be right back with each other the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, right? So I'm just thinking, oh, she just, going through the motions or whatever. She tripping because of the, whatever they call it, postpartum stress or whatever. When a woman has a baby and she starts tripping with her hormones or whatever. So this is what I'm thinking. So I ain't taking it serious, right? So I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. And she was like, no, I don't want to be in a relationship. She was like, I want to start seeing other people. I'm like, what? Okay. So she said one day, the next day, she said, I'm about to go out with my friends. I need you to watch Ethan. So I was just like, I'm like, man, I ain't about to sit up here and watch Ethan while you go out, you know what I'm saying, with another dude, because I knew that's what it was. So she gonna say, well, if you don't do that, then you can just leave and I'll bring my friend over here. So I was like, whoa. It was getting intense. It was getting intense. It was getting, I was like, she's talking real bold. Like, this is serious, right? So she told me, she said, we're not in a relationship no more, and I'm not gonna have my child's father living with me, and you have to go. So I'm like, is she really tripping? Like, is she really saying this? Like, we got a family together, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything was just all good. We just made love the other day, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, you gonna go to court, you know what I'm saying, and do what you gonna do, you know what I'm saying? We gonna get all this, you know what I'm saying, squashed out the way, whatever. Everything finna be straight, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything was all good. And then she's saying all this. So I'm like, man, what's going on? I was like, she probably already with somebody. You know what I'm saying? She probably done already been with somebody. Somebody probably already in her ear or whatever. So she said, you're gonna have to go, and I want you gone by Friday, which was just, it was like the next day. And she was like, if you don't have no money to go nowhere, I'll pay for your hotel for 2 days, but you can't be here no more. And if you don't leave, I'm gonna call the police because you're not supposed to be here no way. Um, I'm not supposed to be in contact with you because remember, I was out on bond waiting to go to trial, right? We weren't even supposed to be around each other. And she's, the victim, right? So we weren't even supposed to be around each other, but we were still living with each other, still having sex, still in a relationship. So she pulled that card on me. So I had to go. I left. When I left, she paid the hotel. And I remember I smoked the blunt. I was at the Motel 6 just smoking the blunt, tripping out, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, man. Like, I can't believe what's going on. My mother had just sold her house that I was in for all that time, paying rent and everything, you know what I'm saying? Living there or whatever. That was sold. So it was no going back to that, you know what I'm saying? And at that particular time, I had left Lowe's or whatever because, it was like a seasonal job or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I ain't like it there in no way at that particular location that I was at. And so I had left Lowe's, so I was just working a little part-time security gig, you know what I'm saying, trying to find other work. So I didn't have no money. I had $15 to my name. $15 to my name, and she knew it. But she didn't care. She said, you gotta go. So I'm in there smoking, man. I'm just thinking, like, man, this is messed up. Second day went out. I'm in a hotel. I gotta leave. 2 days is up. I ain't had nowhere to go. So I ended up leaving, and I needed to get my some more stuff, you know what I'm saying, from her crib. So only thing I had with me was like, you know what I'm saying, like my clothes or whatever. And I remember I had just applied. I had applied back for Lowe's again or whatever, and they called me just like that. You know what I'm saying? Want me to come in to do an interview. So I went over there to my son's mom's house to get some interview clothes or whatever that I had upstairs. And while I was over there, she said, Steve, I need you to watch Ethan while I go to Walmart and get some groceries. So when she went to the store, something told me like, man, just look around the house. So I go in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? I look in the sink. I'm seeing shot glasses in the sink, you know what I'm saying? I see a bottle of wine, a bottle of liquor on the table or whatever. I look in the trash, you know what I'm saying? I see this big old family pack of popcorn, in there. So I'm like, okay, well maybe she probably was with her niece and they probably had, girlfriends over or whatever, you know what I'm saying, kicking it or whatever. I ain't tripping, right? I go upstairs to my son's room before he was even sleeping in that room. We were just getting together for him, whatever. Before I had left, I had already emptied out the trash and everything. Wasn't nothing in there. Wasn't nothing underneath the sink or nothing like that. So, like in the trash, I see some boy shorts in the trash. I'm like, okay. I'll go up underneath the sink. And I've seen like some men's, you know what I'm saying, body wash. So I'm like, well, maybe her cousin might have came in town or something while I was gone, while I was in Michigan or whatever, right? So I'm sitting here trying to, still think positive because I'm not even thinking like, she really done went this far. You feel me? Man, let me tell y'all something. My used to be homeboy at the time. I told him what would happen, so he let me come stay with him. And well, let me rewind that. What I did was, I'm still looking around, So I found the security information that we had for the video, for the Xfinity cameras that we had in the house. Like, I never did want the cameras in the house because I felt like, she had them there for me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't care, whatever. She tried to give me the password. I said, I don't want that. You keep that. That's for you. But anyway, I found the password again because it was on some paper underneath the bed. So I took a picture of it and left, whatever. Went to my homeboy crib. And something just hit me. I ain't gonna say something because you gotta give credit to the spirit. The spirit hit me. The spirit said, download Xfinity app. So I downloaded it. And I had to put in the password, right? Put in the password. It was the same password that's always been, right? I had just forgot about it, but the same password. So when I went and downloaded I downloaded the app and I looked. The first thing I seen in that video was my son's mom walking in the house with another man. And at that time, I'm still trying to think positive. I'm like, maybe that might be her cousin, but I'm like, I ain't never seen him before. You know what I'm saying? Then when I look, because how the camera do, it goes by movement. So every time something moves, it's taking, photos or it's doing video or whatever. So they hold hands while coming in. They hold hands coming in. They go upstairs. They come back downstairs. So I'm putting two and two together. So like now my heart, man, just, it's beating fast. You feel me? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to hurt. I'm hurting, beating fast. So I'm starting to put two and two together. Maybe that's why the boy shorts, was upstairs in the trash can. Maybe that's why that, man stuff was sitting up underneath the sink. So I go on to the next clip. The next clip, they sitting down, they having drinks, right? Having shots, you know what I'm saying? Eating popcorn. So I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, everything coming to light, you know what I'm saying? So I said, oh, okay, so she didn't have her family over here. She's been over here with a nigga, another man. So I'm bugging out, man. I'm like, just hurt, right? Just seeing this. So I'm still looking. Going to the next clip. I see your boy, he getting up, you know what I'm saying? He got his shoes off. He walking around the house. He opening up the refrigerator like it's his crib. This nigga doing the same stuff that I be doing. You know what I'm saying? Lo and behold, my son, my baby, is in the next room, sleep, right? She got this stranger who she done met online, right? In this house. Don't even know who he is, right? Kept watching the video. Going to the next clip. Next clip show, you know what I'm saying? The dude being intimate, you know what I'm saying, with my son's mom. And I watched it. You know what I'm saying? I sat there and watched it because I couldn't believe it, right? And they was intimate on the couch. And it tore me up to my soul. Tore me up to my soul. Just seeing another man touch, you know what I'm saying? The woman who I've been with for 4 years, got baptized with, and I just had a baby by. Our son with him for 14 months. Watching that, it tore me up. You know what I'm saying? I was hurt to the soul, heartbroken. And called her up that same night. I was like, I need to talk to you. She was like, about what? What? I mean, it's late. What you calling me for, Steve? I said, I had a dream. She said, don't be calling me about those crazy time you had a dream. I said, no, I had a dream that you had some guy over your house. And I started describing what he looked like. And he was bald head and had a beard and had little sides on him, whatever. You know, that's talking about as far as, bulkiness or whatever. And I was like, it was just crazy. And y'all had sex on the couch. And she's like, what? What you talking about? Boy, I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for this. Or whatever. And she hung the phone up. So then I sent her the video clips of her with this dude, intimate with him. Now, mind you, October the 6th, 2017, on that Friday, is when she so-called broke up with me, put me out the house. That following Sunday, she had a dude over at the crib. I came back there that Monday to get my clothes, for my interview or whatever. And that's when I saw all that stuff. So just that quick, she had somebody over the house that same weekend. So I started backtracking. I'm like, well, we've broken up before like this on a Friday and then be back together on a Monday. Was she doing this shit the whole time? You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, how long has she been knowing this dude? Did she just meet him? You know what I'm saying? Was she with him when I was in Michigan on the run? Has she been knowing this cat the whole time we've been in a relationship when we first met? Like, I'm bugging out, right? But I'm hurt. I sent her the video. That's when she called back. And her whole thing was, oh, you broke into my camera system? You broke my camera? Like, nah, you been gave me the password a long time ago. I just didn't use it. You know what I'm saying? So you did this, you did that, da da da. So the lies couldn't be lies no more. Caught her red-handed. And I was hurt to my soul. And I tried every single little thing, right, to just make things right. And I cried for 9 days straight to the point where I lost my voice. Just crying, I didn't even want to live no more. I was hurt just to see another, when you in love with somebody, you got a child by them. And I was there taking my son out of her womb, you know what I'm saying? I helped deliver, you know what I'm saying, my baby into this world, you know what I'm saying? So I had all this love for my son's mom. So it hurt real bad just to see another man touch, you know what I'm saying, my son's mom like that, you feel me? Yeah, I mean, and I just cried, man. I didn't even want to live, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to die, you know what I'm saying? I was in a real dark place, just a real dark place. And I was calling up everybody, trying to talk to everybody to try to get some kind of help, to try to get some kind of peace, to try to get some kind of knowledge or wisdom, and to help me be strong or whatever, It was just it was tough. It was real tough, and I went to church. On that following Sunday. And when I went to church, I saw my my minister that had baptized me, and that did the baby dedication for my son. And when I saw him, I couldn't do nothing but just cry. I just poured out crying. And he got up from where his wife was at, and he came and he asked me what was going on. We talked. And we went into the sanctuary, we talked, and he was there for me, you know what I'm saying? And he felt my pain, and we prayed together, and he anointed me, and he told me, you're going to get your son. You may even get your woman back, if it's meant for her to be with you. But if not, God will give you somebody else. And he said, but first, you got to get right with God. And he said, now let's go get this word. So went upstairs, and there was the youth minister preaching, not my regular pastor. And he started preaching, and he was reading from Matthew about the blind man who couldn't see. Everything he talked about was about my life. He talked about, he was saying, if you've been living a life and every time you move 2 steps forwards, it seems like you can pull 2 steps backwards. If nothing is changing in your life and you want good and nothing but bad keep happening, you're not going anywhere and time going by, but you feel like you're being stagnant. He said, well, maybe you are walking blind. Maybe you're walking blind. Maybe you are blind and that you need Jesus. Maybe you thought that you had him, but you really don't. And everything, so my whole life started flashing before me. So I started thinking about my whole entire life, all the bullshit that I've been through, all the stuff I've done, gang banging, pimping, selling drugs, having a foul mouth towards people, not caring about what I say to people, not caring about if it hurt them when I say it. You know what I'm saying? Just being real tough. You feel me? And only looking out for myself. Not being faithful in a relationship, right? Doing all kind of stuff. I just thought about my whole life. And I was like, that's me. And I ain't getting nowhere. And I don't have nothing. And I looking at my age, I'm like, I'm 33 years old and I don't have nothing. I got a car, a little job, whatever. Like, I don't have nothing. And I just started looking at everything. And it was like the situation that happened with my son's mom and watching her being intimate, with another man. That was the last thing that, like they say, the straw that broke the camel's back, that was the last thing that really got me. It hurt it when I found out who my real dad was. It hurt it when my brothers died. And I forgot to tell y'all, in 2016, my brother Robert, that I told y'all about earlier, he died. He was in a coma for a whole week. And I went to Michigan and just watching watching my brother sit up there and on that life support or whatever. My brother Robert died. He died in my arms, and it hurt real bad. And just watching all of that. My dad dying, my brother Breeze dying, my brother Crusher dying. Every year, somebody died. And then lastly, 2013, 2014, 2015, then 2016, my brother Robert died the day before my son's mom's birthday. That was in 2016, October 30th, 2016. My brother died in my arms. So he died October 30th, 2016. Then I went through my breakup with my son's mom December 31st, 2017. So every year from 2013 up until 2017, it was hell. It was pure hell. And that was a lot to take on my heart. You know what I'm saying? plus all the other stuff that I went through, all my other trials and tribulations that I went through, all the other weight that I had on my back. You know what I'm saying? It was tough. It was tough. So the pastor, like they do at the end of church services, said, if this is you, if you feel like your life, you want to rededicate your life, you want to give your life to the Lord or whatever, come on down. I didn't hesitate because I knew that day, that moment was for me and nobody else. And I was the only one. And I got up and I was just pouring down crying, pouring down crying, pouring down crying. And I just walked down that aisle. And everybody had their hands, you know what I'm saying, open to me. Everybody had their hands open to me. And I'm just pouring down crying, pouring down crying. And they prayed and they said, hey, I need 7 prayer warriors with me to come now. So they got 7 prayer warriors. They came and everybody touched me. They all started praying. And I rededicated my life back to Christ. I gave my life back to the Lord, on that day, October the 15th of 2017. And instantly, when I confessed with my mouth, and I just cried. I cried. I said, I'm tired of sinning. I'm tired of doing wrong. Instantly, when I confessed, it was like a warm blanket came over me, and it went over my heart. And instantly, the pain that was in my heart went away. It just instantly went away, and it felt like a warm blanket was over my heart. There was no pain in my heart no more, and my tears of pain became tears of joy. I just felt good, and it was just strong power that was over me that felt so good. It was like it was supernatural. I've never felt nothing like that before. I literally felt the physical presence of God, the living God, touching me. I couldn't think of nothing evil. I had no evil thoughts. And I felt so good. You know what I mean? I felt so good and empowered and strong. And everybody embraced me. They hugged me. They embraced me. And I remember I left. And that same week, I went to see my son. I went to go see my son. Met my son's mom at the park. And when I looked at her, I didn't even have no hate or anger or pain in my heart. I was just happy. And I felt good. She was looking at me like, what I got in. I told her, I dedicated my life to Christ today. I wasn't even tripping, right? And I just felt good. I couldn't lust. I couldn't think of no evil. I couldn't even get an erection. That's how much God had his hand on me for a while, right? Could not think of nothing evil at all. Nothing. Because God was holding me the whole time. And he was strengthening me and healing my heart. So the Holy Spirit said, I want you to read. Just read my word. Just read it. Just read the Bible. Just read the word. So I started reading. From cover to cover. I started from the New Testament because I just accepted Christ again. So quite naturally, I want to read more about Christ. And he's in the New Testament, right? Starting in Matthew. So I read all the way through. And I finished that. And then I went to the Old Testament and I read all the way through. And I finished that. It took me 10 months to read the whole Bible. And everything that I read, I understood it. I understood it clearly. There was nothing that I didn't understand. It was clear. It was just like I just knew it, right? And as I was reading these stories and praying, the Holy Spirit told me to fast. So I would fast, not eat nothing for a whole 24 hours, wouldn't eat nothing, just drink water. And I would read my Bible all day and just pray all day and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray. And next thing you know, all hell started breaking loose. All hell started breaking loose. And I was getting tempted to do things. I was getting tempted to smoke weed, but I didn't smoke weed. I was getting tempted to have sex, but I didn't have sex yet, right? Because I did end up, falling short of the glory. But I was getting tempted and tried, and people would test me. And my homeboy, who I was staying with at the time, when I downloaded everything and I seen what I saw, I got into it with him. Like, he woke up one day and he was talking about somebody stole his drugs because he had a real bad problem. You know what I'm saying? He used to snort cocaine. He had a real bad problem, a real bad drug problem, and he thought that I stole his drugs. I'm like, man, I don't do drugs. I don't sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, man, you my homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, just been my partner since day one. You feel me? As a matter of fact, I had put him down with the hood a long time ago. So I'm like, cuz you tripping. So he put out a shotgun. Put a shotgun out on me, right? His mom was there, you know what I'm saying? It was just me, him, his mom. He put a shotgun or whatever. So I'm like, okay. He ain't had no shotgun shells in it. So I was like, all right, I can go ahead and do them right now if I want to. But I'm still out on bond. I still haven't went to my trial yet. And during my trial, during the whole time that I'm waiting to go to trial, right? And when I got saved, I got directed and counseled by a lot of OGs. My big cousin in Michigan, my Crip cuz from Long Beach 19th Street, they said, look, man, this is what you need to do, A, B, and C, if you want to see your son, because my son's mom, she started doing stuff like not letting me see my son. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, what's she tripping off of? You feel me? Like, she was just tripping. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, somebody got to be in her ear. I'm like, man, this can't happen. You're not finna not let me see my son. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, something else must be going on. You know what I'm saying? So then she'll call me up one day and she'll tell me how much she missed me and how much, and how much she missed us having sex and all this and that. So I'm like, man, just very confusing. What's going on? And she ain't talking to nobody. She ain't talking to that dude no more. And, she been thinking about us in the family. So I'm like, man, something ain't right. So I said, man, I want her to tell the truth. So I try to go back on the camera, see if she had anybody over there. She changed the password. But I had everything. I had our social security number and everything. I knew all her passcode information because I knew her. I knew how to answer the questions because I knew what she liked. What was her first car? What was her favorite color? Answer the questions. I changed the password. Changed the password. Lo and behold, I saw her again being intimate with another dude. Another dude. Not the same one, but another dude. So I'm like, right when she was telling me, oh, she missed me and she want to work things out and she ain't talking to nobody no more, caught her. Sent her that video again. So she was enraged. She was pissed. Oh, you doing this? That's against the law. And and this, that, and third. And blah, 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 blah. Just doing all of this, right? So she said that. She was mad. She was mad that I caught her red-handed once. And then I caught her in a lie again. The second time with a different dude. So I know she was embarrassed. Because that's not, very ladylike, right? So she didn't want me. She kept me from my son. She didn't want to be around me. So I'm like, you can't do that. I'm like, man, my son, he's so little. He's so small. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I didn't have my dad. So one thing that I always said, I will always have if I ever had kids, and it didn't work out with their mother, I would always still be a father to my kids. And she wasn't trying to allow that, which is crazy, right? But it was all for her personal reasons, because she was angry, because she was mad, because she was upset, but not thinking about our child, that our child needs his dad, right? Now I can see if I was just like this strung out a dude on drugs, or I was abusive to my kid or whatever, or, abusive, what I'm saying, to her, and always, fighting and doing this and doing that. Different story, right? But that wasn't the case. So I got schooled, and my cousin said, look, man, he said, well, a couple people said, look, take her to court. Don't do nothing stupid, you know what I'm saying, to where you go get locked up, to where you go to prison. Then you'll really won't be able to raise your kid, and some other man will be. They said, win with your skullduggery, use your brain, because you're smart. So everybody kept saying, nah, man, if you do that, then she ain't gonna vouch for you in court when a criminal case come up. You don't want to piss her off. You don't want to make her mad. Just be cool, cuz. Wait until your criminal court case go away. But I'm like, nah, I can't wait. My son need me now. I'm not finna sit up here and wait until my criminal case get over with. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, my son need me right now. Right now, I got a dude around my son, or men, not just one dude. I got men who she's meeting online who around my son, and I don't even know who they are. I can't have that. You know what I'm saying? So I prayed about it. And even though I haven't been to court yet for the criminal case, I went ahead and got her served, you know what I'm saying, to get my rights as a father and to get custody, my joint custody or whatever. So I got her served. And I didn't tell her I was going to do it, you know. I just went down there, filled out the paperwork or whatever, and I had to put on there that, yeah, I had a pending case on right now, you know what I'm saying? And I put the case number on there and all that. Sent it. She got surprised, and she was mad. She was mad, you know what I'm saying, that, she got served by the sheriffs and all that. Okay, whatever. So next thing you know, I out of nowhere, one day I get an email from her attorney. She don't want me to get custody of my kid. You know what I'm saying? It tripped me out. So I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm like, this is a black woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm black. We got a child. Everybody already know when it comes to black people how the system is when it comes to black people, and how they try to separate homes, separate families. We know our history when we was in slavery, how the slave masters, you know what I'm saying, was taking away the black kids from their family, and everybody already know the statistics going on and the reality of what's going on when there's no black males or the fathers that's in the household anymore raising these kids. So a lot of them turn to crimes, and they're filling up the prisons. A lot of them turn into being gay or real feminine because they're being raised by a woman or a bunch of women and not real men. You see what I'm saying? Or not having men at all. So I'm like, I can't believe she's doing it. Like, why would she do this? You feel me? Just cannot understand it. So she paid a lawyer, and come to find out, she spent $14,000 plus to try to keep me from raising my kid, being in my son's life. I couldn't believe it. So I'm like, oh man, I'm tripping. I'm like, damn, this is a good ass lawyer too. So I'm doing my research on the lawyer, and she got all kind of awards and stuff and woo woo woo. And I'm like, man, like she, because you like, I don't know, bro, you might want to get a lawyer. I said, nah, I ain't got no money to get no lawyer, cuz I ain't had no money. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm gonna have to stick this thing on out with God. So I kept reading my Bible, kept praying. And everything in that Bible started to come true. Everything in that Bible started to come true. I kept reading about Peter and the disciples and how they was witnessing Jesus do all these miracles, healing the blind, raising the dead, healing the sick, turning water into wine, doing all this and that. But when Peter was on the boat and the Lord told him to come to me, Peter was scared. He started losing his faith and he started to sink in the water. And every time that he feared and got scared, he sank, and he didn't keep his focus on the Lord. The Lord kept saying, "No, keep your focus on me." And then when he kept his focus back on the Lord, he started to walk on the water again. So I learned something from that. No matter don't worry about what's going on around you, right? Court cases, criminal case, custody case, this, that, A, B, Z, whatever. Focus on the Lord. So I stayed in the Word, stay in the Word, stay in the Word. Still getting tried on things. And I worried about God's mercy. I read that God's mercy is everlasting. It doesn't end. I read that God is merciful to the guilty. I prayed to the Lord and I asked for forgiveness. I asked her to forgive me for all my wrongdoings. Right? I was most humble and told the whole truth of why I did the things I did in the past in our relationship. Right? Even if she didn't want to tell me the truth about nothing and I ended up finding out anyway, I made sure that I told the truth. And God revealed things to me. I read that I read the word of God. God says that he judges all. And he loves to judge all, the just, the unjust, the righteous, the unrighteous. And everyone has their reward. Okay? He brings to light the things you try to hide. God lives in secret and he sees the things in secret. He knows the secrets of your heart. So everything that she was trying to lie and say that she wasn't doing, he showed me. Right? Even within myself, I learned why I went through what I went through. I learned why I had to see what I saw on that video. You understand? Of my son, watching my son's mom be intimate with somebody. Right? I learned why I had to see that and why I went through that pain that I went through. Because when I went through that pain of seeing another man touching my woman, that hurt so bad. You know what I'm saying? It brought me to a dark place, and it was like somebody just grabbed my heart and just scrunched it up like that, right? It was so much pain. So what it really was, God was showing me, look, you may not know, but what about all the women that you've fornicated with who they thought that y'all were going to be in a relationship with, right? They may have thought that y'all was going to be in a relationship, but your whole intention was, I'm just having fun. They may have felt some kind of pain when it didn't work out with y'all, or when you just had sex and that was it, right? When you cheated on your son's mom, you know what I'm saying, throughout the relationship or whatever, you know, and she found out certain things or whatever, but still stayed with you. She felt some pain, right? She felt some pain, but I didn't know what kind of pain she felt. But by me actually seeing her intimate with somebody else, God showed me the pain you feeling inside right now. That's the same kind of pain that she felt. That's the same kind of pain that she felt. That's the same kind of pain that she felt. So I need you to see why when I say, this is God, I need you to see why when I say, don't sin, it's a reason why I don't want you to sin. Because your sin hurts other people. Your sin hurts you. I'm not saying don't sin because I'm God and I just tell you what to do and you just listen. No, it's a reason behind it. It's a reason why I don't want you fornicating and messing with different people and blase, blase. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of reasons why. And one of the reasons is because you can hurt people. You can hurt people's hearts. You can hurt yourself. You can jeopardize things. You can break up a family. You can do all this and that. So he was showing me, as I was reading his word, he was showing me that his word is true. He was showing me the reasons why he don't want me to do certain things. Why he says, don't do this, don't do that, right? And so with me praying, staying in the word, and fasting, he told me about his mercy and his grace, right? And he told me that if you follow my commandments, I'll be there for you. I'll be your rock. I'll be your deliverer. When your enemies come against you, I'll deliver you. Yes, you have governments. Yes, you have a law. Yes, you have systems out here, powers and principles, right? Principalities and powers, right? But he made all that. He says, I control all of that. I created that. He said, I created all things. So I took that and I said, I'm going to this court case, this criminal case, knowing that, Lord, you created all things. You're in control of all things. Your word is true and I believe it, right? These are the things that he said in the Bible, that he'll be there for me, that he gives mercy to the guilty, that he will fight for me, that my battle is not mine, it's the Lord's. So next thing you know, trial started to come. Well, trial comes for the criminal case. And I didn't want to lie on the stand. So I told my public defender, I said, look, I ain't going on the stand. I don't want to testify. Because I had told the Lord that I did not want to lie. This is what I'm telling myself. I told the Lord, I don't want to lie about anything to try to keep from going to jail. I've already made my peace with you. You know the truth. We went to court. It was a 5-day trial. Man, my son's mom went on stand and she sung like a mockingbird. I mean, she even brought up stuff that didn't even have nothing to do with the case. I mean, she was trying to say all kind of stuff. She even said I put a gun to her head, and I didn't even do that. She said I cocked the gun back, put it to her head. I didn't even do that. So I was sitting in court, like, I couldn't believe it. It was like that was my enemy up there. I'm like, man, we would, what I'm saying? We just went through all this and that, what I'm saying? Kicking it, woo, 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 okay, yeah, you ain't with me no more, whatever. I got you a dude or dudes or whatever. And then she went on stand and she just sung like a mockingbird. It was coming up with all kind of stuff, trying to make me look like just the savage beast to get me put away. And I was facing 3 years because if you take things to trial, they give you they throw the book at you. If you don't take the plea, they throw the book at you. I don't want to take no pleas. So they threw the book at me. They was trying to throw the book at me. 3 years facing. I couldn't believe it. So they did their thing. My lawyer did her thing. I had a public defender. My public defender showed the evidence that the state was bringing against me. Showed the video, that was presented, and that the video that was in the house showing when we got into it. But then we went inside the room when she hit me. The rest of the fight went in the room or whatever. But they showed that. And, they showed pictures of her or whatever, and she didn't have no bruises on her face, but they tried to show pictures saying, oh, she didn't have that mark on her face before, and she doesn't have that today, and had pictures and everything. So deliberation came. And it was a hung jury. While they was deliberating, I would go out into the bathroom and I would anoint myself with oil and I would pray. The more they fought, the more the state was trying to get me, the more I prayed to God. The more the jury was doing what they was doing, the more I prayed to God. Went in the bathroom, prayed to God, read my word, praying. The more I felt like the more the devil was trying to get me put away, that's the more the angels gonna fight for me. So I prayed, I prayed, I prayed. Hung jury. Day 2. Usually when you get a hung jury, you're supposed to get acquitted. The judge didn't want to do that. Day 2 come. Hung jury. Got a 5-day trial now. Day 3 come. Hung jury. So now the judge like, well, y'all got to come up with a decision. So they did something called an Allen trial, where the judge make the jury come up with a decision. Right? It's like, okay, well, somebody's saying no, everybody else might be saying yes, or you got 3 people saying yes, 3 people saying no, but the judge like, no, y'all have to come up with a decision. So, which is some bull crap. So I'm like, man, this judge want to see me in jail. Now I ain't had nothing on my record, nothing until I got a record from my son's mom. I had a clean record, nothing, not even a traffic ticket, right? So finally, on the last day, they had to come up with a decision, and I just prayed. I prayed. And they came up with a decision. It was on a walkie-talkie. So we got to come back in the courtroom. Standing up. Here it is. This is my fate. And the judge said, in the case of the state of Georgia versus Stephen Gills, the jury finds the defendant on charges 1 and 2. So mind you, before I even say that, they dropped the state alone had already dropped the cruelty to the children charge because they knew that was bogus. I wasn't cruel to my child. That's just so bogus, right? They were just trying to put stuff on me just to mess me up. So the state dropped that before we even went to trial. That got out the way. But I'm just so pissed that that charge even shows up, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. As an arrest, right? But the state took that away anyway. They dropped that because that was some bogus bullshit. Excuse my French. But it said, the jury finds the defendant on counts 1 and 2, which was, so let me tell y'all how cruel the system is. When the state dropped the cruelty to children charge, they broke one of the simple batteries up into 2 simple batteries instead of 1. And came up with some bogus bullshit of how you can just, if you walk up on somebody in an intimidating way, that simple battery. So they wanted to keep me with as many charges as they could, right? Trying to get a black man, just put away or into the system real good. So he reading the paper and he said, the jury finds the defendant Stephen Gills on charges on counts 1 and 2. He said, oh, not guilty. Like he was surprised. My heart just dropped. And then he said on count 3, guilty. I was like, oh shit, what you mean? So I got found not guilty, right? For something that I did. You understand? I know I did it. She know I did it. The Lord know I did it, right? As far as, punching her in the face 2 times after she had slapped me in my face, right? I got found not guilty. But then they found me guilty of interfering with a 911 call. They didn't even have evidence of me taking the phone from her. They didn't even have evidence of that. But I still got found guilty for that. That's crazy, right? But let me rewind something. Let me tell you how good God is. Because in this testimony, God is just all through it. His work is just all through it. And you know it ain't nothing but God. My brother, one of my brothers, had warrants. Mind you, both my brothers was in the house that day. One was upstairs asleep and one was actually in the kitchen seen on camera, right? But he could not come to trial because he had warrants. So we couldn't use him. But he told my public defender that he was, he was there, whatever. But she's like, I can't use you. You got warrants, whatever. But hey, let me tell you how God worked. About 2 weeks before I had to go to my trial, I gave my brother a ride somewhere, dropped him off, and when I dropped him off, he ended up getting locked up that same day. And he got out of jail just like that. So when he got out of jail, he didn't have no more warrants. So now I could use him in court as a witness because he was there and he was seen on the camera. The same video that the prosecution brought as an evidence, we used that same video. Because my brother was in the video. So they didn't even know that we even had a witness. So he was the big star witness. Brought him on the stand. And they were shocked. But you see how God worked. You see how God had me. God had me the whole time. You understand what I'm saying? He placed my brother there that night when we were supposed to party, December 31st. You see what I'm saying? He was there. He wasn't asleep like my other brother was. He let him get locked up right before I had to go to court, and then he got out right before I had to go to court. And he was there to be a star witness. See what I'm saying? To be a star witness, right? Even still, what he said wasn't all the truth. But he used the system against them. Because the video camera didn't show. The video camera didn't show me hitting her. It showed her hitting me. And it also showed my brother right there looking at the whole thing. So they got this thing, the system, if you have to be proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. You have to have factual, physical evidence. It can't look like it may have happened. You have to actually have saw something happen, or you have to have actual physical evidence, bruises, whatever, or somebody seen it happen. They didn't have that. They didn't have that. But they have my brother right there, sitting in there, who said that, she hit me or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And he was saying that he didn't see me hit her or whatever. Even though I did, but I didn't go on stand saying what I did. I didn't want to lie. But still though, God still showed mercy on me. And I got found not guilty. I got found not guilty. God asked Peter and his disciples, where's your, O ye of little faith? O ye of little faith. I kept getting discouraged. I ain't gonna lie. Every time it was a deadlock jury, I said, man, that's some bull crap. But since I had the word in me, I knew. I had to think about Peter and the disciples. I said, man, yeah, Peter, y'all always saw Jesus doing these different miracles. So why did you lose your faith in the boat on the water when y'all already know what Jesus can do? So I thought about it. I said, I know what Jesus can do. I know he's real. He's looked out for me in the past. He's done things for me in the past. I know he's here. So I'm not finna lose my faith. I'm gonna keep my faith. I'm gonna just keep on praying. And that's what I did. And I came out with a victory. Not guilty. Knowing I did what I did. I asked for a speedy trial because I wanted to go ahead and get rid of that criminal case so I can go ahead and get the custody to my child. Because I knew, if anything, if I would have lost the case, I would have got locked up in the jail when I had custody of my kid. I'd be gone for 3 years. Right? Or let's say if I wasn't gone for 3 years. Or let's just say if I was gone for 3 years and then came back, I would still have that on my record. It would look bad going into when I wanted to try to go ahead and get custody of my kid. So her and her lawyer knew their whole trump card was that criminal case, and they was banking on me to get locked up or banking on me to get found guilty, you know what I'm saying, of that, so they can try to use that in court to make me look like a monster or to make me look like this and that or whatever. Guess what, though? That wasn't in God's plan. God said, no, he's not that. He's not a monster. And I need for this man who wants to be in his son's life, I need him to be free. I need him to train up this child in the way that he should go, because he has me in him, and he will instill my spirit in him. He will give him the word. He will train him up the way. I don't need him in jail. He was there for me. So the judge granted us a speedy trial. I got found not guilty. Next thing you know, let's go ahead and go to the custody case. They brought up all kind of stuff to try to make me seem like this gruesome dude. Like I'm just so bad, right? Now all of a sudden out of nowhere, I'm just so bad, you know. But if I was so bad, why didn't you go to court or to the authorities before? You know what I'm saying? All these several events that so-called happen, right? So what tripped me out, the first thing that they even talked about in court, her and her lawyer, was child support. I filed the case. We go to our first hearing, and the first thing they talking about is child support. Oh well, yeah, he did make me take a blood test or whatever. You know, found a baby here. Yeah, we want him to pay child support. They try to hit me hard. We want him to pay $500 child support, and she making all this money, make over $100,000 a year. And at the time, I wasn't making, keeping the real, I was making like $29,000, $30,000. That's it, a year. And she was asking for $500 child support for one kid. Are you crazy? We're not even talking about custody right now. They talking about money. So she just wanted money. So I'm sitting here. It was like she was trying to do every single thing to make me hurt. Because she got caught cheating twice. Well, she got caught cheating once. The second time she just got caught being a whorish. You know what I'm saying? And then you thought I was going to go to prison, and that did not work, and I got found not guilty. So now you real pissed. So now you're trying to keep me from getting my kid. And they fought hard. But the more they fought, the more and more I prayed. The more and more I fasted. The more and more I fasted. And I remember meeting a homeless guy on Covington Highway. Everything that I read in the Bible, like I said, I remembered it. And I really didn't have much. I was staying with my homeboy and everything. And but I feel like the homeless dude, he didn't, he needed more than me. So I was already struggling, didn't really have nothing to eat like that, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have much, but I went home and I got half the food I did have, and I had a 2 pair of shoes. I ain't need 2 pair of shoes, so I got my shoes. I got my Sean John coat. I had 2 coats, so I didn't need that coat. And I had 2 skull caps, so I ain't need 2 skull caps, so I got all that, and I gave it to him. And he thanked me. And we sat and we stood there on Covington Highway at night with our eyes closed, and I asked could I pray with him. It was a homeless white guy, and we sat there and prayed, eyes closed, on covering the highway in the hood. And after I prayed to him, he started talking to me about God and everything that I read in the Bible and what I was going through. He started talking about. I didn't tell him anything about that, but he started talking about everything that I read in the Bible, everything I was going. He started talking about it, and I broke down crying. I remember calling my uncle, telling him about it. I broke down crying, and I never seen that dude again. Never seen him again, and I feel like that was an angel, and that was God sending His angel, letting me know, hey, you on the right track. I am real. I am here. You've accepted me. I've healed your heart. I've healed your mind. I'm renewing your mind. I am real. I am true. And I got you. And you have made some mistakes. And you will make mistakes. And even though you have me, you might make even more mistakes. Because you're going to go through some things. But I'm here. And that gave me even more confidence to know that everything was going to be all right. So I ended up leaving from where I was at when my homeboy put a shotgun out on me. But my car had broke down. My transmission didn't work. So I had insurance on my car, so I had to get my car towed from my used to be homeboy spot. So I had to get all my important stuff and just put it all in my car, stuffing it in there. The big stuff, I said, man, he can have it. I'll get new stuff later. So I left my TV, my dresser and everything. I said, man, he can have all that. My DVD player, all that. I said, man, you know what? I'll get new stuff. It's just material stuff. So all my paperwork for court and my clothes and everything, I just put in my car, and I got my car towed to my old neighborhood in Washington Park. And I slept in my car. I was homeless. And I was fighting a case, a custody case, homeless, right? And it was tough, but I still got up. So what I did, I woke up every morning because it was real uncomfortable sleeping in the car. So I would get up early in the morning and I'd walk to Waffle House to go use the bathroom. Or I'd go walk to the mall, go to the dollar store, buy a wash rag or something or whatever. I'd go in the bathroom, you know what I'm saying? I'll, wash up real quick or whatever. Hop on the bus, go to work, right? Go to work. I use my work computer to fax and email my evidence to my son's mom's lawyer, getting everything, done at work, doing what I had to do. Get off work, come back to the car, go to sleep. The days that I didn't work, I get up, or no, matter of fact, even when I had to work, get up early in the morning, do the same thing, right? Then I said, man, tax season come around. Claim my son. Blessing. She was mad that I claimed my son. Okay. It's my son too. Got like $5,000 back. Got my car fixed. Got my transmission rebuilt. I was going to court hearings homeless. And some of y'all know, I would post stuff on Instagram, post stuff on Facebook. I had my suit on, going to court, handling my business, right? I was homeless around that time, sleeping in my car. You understand what I'm saying? Homeless, fighting cases. cold as a mug with a blanket on me in my car, reading my Bible. You know what I'm saying? Still being happy, still having my faith in God, although I was in the toughest and most uncomfortable position there. I still showed people what I was going through as far as the trial and everything, and I didn't wait until I got the victory to tell about it. I was showing people my struggles, what I was going through, and I was always posting the word on Instagram and on Facebook so people can see the stuff that I'm going through right now. I'm fighting through it. The Lord says this. This is what I'm going through. The Lord said that. This is what I'm going through. Boom. The Lord said, I will deliver you from this. Boom. I got delivered. So you know it's real. God kept showing up in every situation, and I kept putting it out there while I was going through it. Didn't wait until the victory happened. I was going through it, and I showed it. That's how real God is. So going through all that, my car got fixed because I had the money to get it fixed. With the claiming my son, I paid off certain things. One here when the judge said, "Oh, you're gonna need this, you're gonna need that, you're gonna need that," in order to go ahead and get custody, or to get your rights or whatever. So I made sure, I went out and got me a baby car seat because that was needed. You know what I'm saying? Um, I took care of a lot of stuff. And even when my car got fixed, I was still sleeping in my car. My car got fixed, right? I wake up early in the morning and I go to the YMCA and I go work out and I go box. I go box, lift weights, and that's where I would take my shower. So it was no more going to the mall, you know what I'm saying? Washing up in the mall sink or whatever, getting the soap and water and then going back in the bath stall. So won't nobody see me washing my face and everything. Then when everybody leave, go back out to rinse off the water, you know what I'm saying? Go back in the bath stall, wash off whatever, you know what I mean? No, it was no more of that. So I would go to Y and I would work out first, go take a shower. I would bring my iron in my gym bag and I would iron my clothes on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Go to work, did what I had to do. No one knew I was homeless. Cause I didn't even carry myself like that. I stayed clean. I stayed smiling. I stayed talking about the Lord. I stayed, you know what I'm saying, pure. You feel me? And even when I was at work, people was going through stuff at work. And I was so strong in the Lord and knowing his power, I would pray with them. I would anoint them. You know what I'm saying? And they would feel good and they would feel empowered. And they situations they was going through was getting taken care of. And I was seeing how God was manifested in their life as well. So God was just all through it. Can't nobody tell me that God ain't real. Can't nobody tell me God ain't real because I had a physical experience with God and he was working all through my life. And the people around me, he was working in their lives. And the people around me was seeing how God was working in my life and still is to this day. Now let me finish. I paid off a lot of stuff with the $5,000. I ended up getting this place to stay. I got a lease because that was one of the requirements. You had to have a stable residence for 12 months. You had to be at your job. You had to show stability at a job for 12 months. Just so happened when I had to be in court the next month, made my 11th month at Lowe's. You can't tell me God ain't an on-time God. Everything the court required, I got just in time on my last hearing, which was the trial day, for me to get joint custody of my son. I came from having 15. I came from fighting a criminal case to being kicked out on the streets with $15 to my name, being homeless, not having transportation, to getting everything that I needed just in time to get custody of my kid. I had my place to stay with my lease. I had a car, a reliable transportation that they asked for that I just got fixed with some of that money from me claiming my son. Right? So I had the receipt of the whole new built transmission. I had my car seat. Matter of fact, my homeboy gave me a car seat. And I had bought one. Took it back, because when he gave it to me, I took that one back. But I had the receipt to show for that. You know what I'm saying? Then I had all my check stubs showing when I started my job that I've been there for 11 months. Right? Had everything I needed. God made sure that I had everything that I needed before I went to my last court date. And on my last court date, I had 3 different judges. Every time I went to court, I had a different judge. I never paid the $500 for child support that they was asking me to pay. Or that they ordered me to pay. I never paid it. Because I didn't have no money to be. My son was a toddler. He didn't need no $500 a month. And I didn't even have the money. I would give my son the world, but I didn't have the money to pay no $500 a month. I wasn't paying that, so I paid what I could pay. So as I was gaining everything that I needed, as God, like the Lord said, I will supply all of your needs. The Lord says, I will supply all of your needs. And that's exactly what he did. He gave me everything I needed. And when stuff didn't look right on this court date, I get discouraged. And I'm like, oh man, things don't look good, Unc. Things don't look good, Mom. My mom said, maybe you need to get a lawyer, or maybe you just need to drop the case. My own mom said that. My mother told me that I just need to drop the case. So that means what you're saying is, you don't be in your son's life, knowing that you just raised all your boys by yourself, and they didn't have their daddies in their life. And look how all of it ended up. 3 went to prison, and one, didn't go to prison, but went through a whole hell of a lot of shit, and just by the grace of God, I didn't get locked up. But told me, maybe you just need to drop the case. Didn't have no support from my own mother. Didn't have no support from my own mother. You understand? So I went through all of that. It was tough, man. Tough. But like I say, I went through all that. I got through all that, and I still stayed. I still kept up the good fight of faith. Like the Lord tell you, fight the good fight of faith. That's what he tell you in the Bible. And those that endure to the end will reap the reward. It was tough. I lost 40 pounds of weight. I was skinny. You understand? Skinny from fasting and from not eating like I was supposed to eat, from stressing, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. You feel me? But I still got up every day, even though it was messing with my mind a little bit, having to, be homeless and sleeping in my car and washing up at the mall and all that stuff. But I still got up every day and went to work. I still went to the library and was my own lawyer in court, fighting up against this big high time attorney. And I ain't had no experience. I ain't never went out one day in no law school. But I did what I had to do. Y'all saw some of that stuff, who was ever watching, when I posted on Instagram pictures of everything. Look at all this. Look at this. Look at this. These are my files. This is my research that I did. You know what I'm saying? Being my own attorney in court. You understand what I'm saying? They tried to hit me with, so they was trying to hit me with the $500 a month thing. Let me get back to that. So once they found out that I had all of what I needed to get my rights to my kid, they tried the most scandalous thing ever. My son's mom, it wasn't even the whole week. Well, I had to be on my last trial day was on that Monday. Wednesday, they sent me something. They sent me something in the mail or in the email saying that they're filing contempt of court for child support. Wow. Once I sent all my evidence that I had everything I needed to get custody of my kid, she didn't want me to get custody of my kid so bad, and she wanted me to pay that child support. She wanted me to go to jail so bad, right? So she can live her little life with her boyfriend or boyfriends or whatever and do what she wanted to do, right? They filed contempt of court to try to get me locked up. Now, this is the second time my son's mom tried to get me locked up. The second time. Don't you know? I went to court. And her lawyer tried to muscle the case. She talking about some, yes, Judge, but we have one issue at hand. She's like, well, what's that? He was ordered prior to this court date to order $500 child support, and he has not lived up to that order by Judge such and such, such and such. And we filed for contempt or whatever. So the judge was like, well, I don't see no paperwork on that. Well, we filed it on this date. Everybody know it takes a little while for the government to do things. You ain't finna just get it done just like that. So the judge, let me email the clerk's office. So she emailed the clerk's office. Oh, I see it right here. Okay. So she reading it. Before that happened, I had this dude before me who was in court for contempt. And the judge said, I'm gonna let you know right now, sir. This court frowns upon people that don't pay their child support. And I do want to let you know, if you don't have the money, more than likely there will be jail time issued. But he said he had his money, so he didn't go to jail. But when she said that, my son's mom's lawyer looked at me like, right? I just looked at her back like, and just smiled. You know what I'm saying? They thought I was going to jail. The judge read the paperwork. She read the order, the motion for contempt. I didn't go to jail. This other guy, matter of fact, it was another dude too, that owed child support. And the judge said, I remember the judge told him, he said, well, you're now a resident of the state of Georgia. He went to jail. But guess what though? The judge read that contempt order and just put it to the side. So when I did my opening statement, I said, Judge, I haven't even had the time to even tell my side of the story. All it's been about is money. I filed the case. I'm trying to raise my son. That's all I'm trying to do is raise my son. And here they are just trying to get money up out of me. This woman make $104,000 a year. And here she is just trying to get money up out of me. I'm just trying to raise my son. I want to have my time to tell my side of the story. So she said, you filed. This is your case. You got the floor. So I got up with all this, right? And I went up there and I did my thing. And that lawyer tried to get up there and ask me all kind of crazy questions. And I was humble. And I let the Lord do all the talking. Only speak when you need to speak. Be humble. Be slow to anger. You know? Give that soft word. And don't stir up strife. So I was obedient to the word. And I sat up there humble and calm. And she couldn't fade me. This high power attorney couldn't fade me. And I did my thing. And that judge said, Mr. Gills, you are carrying yourself very well. And for you to be representing yourself, you're doing a very good job and continue to do so. That's what she told me. I said, thank you. And I continue to do that good job, led by the Spirit. The judge said, Mr. Gills just doesn't have it. She said, sir, I believe that you are a good father. And I believe that you're going to instill good things into your son. She said, I believe that. She said, and I believe that you're going to further in your career. So she wrote up her final decision. And I didn't get the full 50-50 that I wanted. And I understand why she didn't do it. Because there's been some periods in time where my son wasn't around me for a long time because of the mom doing that. So she didn't want to just take a little baby like that and then from his mom and put him in my hands for a whole 50% of the time when I haven't even been around like that because of her, right? So they made it like a 60-40, you know, just enough to where actually she could still get child support, right? And I, you know what I'm saying? I got to pay child support, right? But it was all good. But she dropped it down. She dropped my child support down. It was $500, right? Dropped it down tremendously. Now here y'all are trying to have me trying to file contempt, right, for the child support. And guess what? Didn't go to jail. And then they dropped it tremendously. They were so mad, so hot. Victory again. God showed up every time. Everything that I read in that Bible was true. When it came to faith, when it came to trusting in the Lord, when it came about God talking about the righteous and how he is there for the righteous, and how you would be like a tree planted by the river, getting all the first fruits. That was me, getting all those first fruits, being blessed. How even when you have troubles all around you, Peter, keep your focus on me. This is Jesus talking. Keep your focus on me. Don't worry about everything else or you're going to sink. Focus on me. Trust in my word. No matter how bad the outcome is, right? I'm in control. I created all things. I am your judge, not the judge in this system, not Gwinnett County. You understand what I'm saying? I believe that word and God came through every single time. So I got my joint custody. I got my victory. I didn't go to jail. Right? And there's so much more to say. I know I've been holding y'all for a long time, but I had to get this out. I had to tell my testimony. It's a whole lot more. And I have other little segments and video clips talking about other things that I did not talk about in my life. So y'all can see how much God has been working in my life. But through all that, by me seeing how much God loves me, by me seeing how true God's word is, it made me want to change my life. God gives you the ability to do the work. Yes, the Lord is the Lord. The Lord can do anything he wants to do. He's the creator. He created all things. The Lord could have just took my pain away like he took my pain away when I was hurt. And he did for that particular time, right? When I first rededicated my life to Christ, he took it away, right? Put that blanket over me, healed me. But then I had to go through some more stuff. He wanted me to see what I saw, right? Because he wanted me to learn. He wanted me to get the wisdom and the knowledge of why I don't want you to sin, right? So that helped me. You understand what I'm saying? It helped me learn more about his word. So I won't have to do that no more. He can just take it away. God has the ability to say, God has the ability to just take away you lusting or you stealing, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. He can do that. But he still gave you a mind, right? You are like God's too, right? So he'll make you go through certain things so you could understand why he don't want you to do certain stuff. God says, in all thy getting, get understanding. In all thy getting, get understanding. If you ask God for something, he just gave it to you, or if you ask him to fix a certain crazy situation that you in, that you know you can't get yourself out of, and he just fixes it, how you going to get an understanding of it? How you going to get an understanding of how he works, of how he maneuvers, of how he moves? If you don't go through what you're going through, and if you don't read that word, you got to read the word. And God will back it up by letting certain things happen in your life to where you know it wasn't none but him that got you up out of it. Can't nobody tell me God ain't real. So that love that I know God has for me makes me want to not sin. I still sin, no doubt. We all gonna sin until we get up out this flesh. That's just natural, right? We can't help it. But we got to try. You know what I'm saying? I've messed up. I went a whole 6 months one time without having sex. Then I slipped up and I had sex again. You know what I'm saying? And then I stopped again. Then I had sex again. And then when I had that in control, I had a problem with my patience. Then I got my patience in control. But then once I got my patience in control, I fell in some other area. So you're going to always be strong in one area and then weak in another one. Then you might get strong in that area and then get weak in another one. You know what I'm saying? But it's a constant fight. And those who endure to the end reaps the reward. Right? Like Paul said, was it Paul? I fought the good fight of faith. I fought the good fight of faith. So all I want to hear is when I get to heaven, job well done, right? So it's that love that God has for me that makes me want to do right. It makes me want to talk about him all the time. It made me put together this video to share, you know what I'm saying, my life with you, my life events with you, right? And I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say that I was a cheater. I'm not ashamed to say that I sold drugs. I'm not ashamed to say that I had a foul mouth, that I stole, that I was a liar. I'm not ashamed to say that I put my hands, you know what I'm saying, on a woman before. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ashamed to say none of that. You know what I'm saying? I went through it. It's the truth. You feel me? God knows that I did it. You know what I'm saying? So I could care less what anybody thinks about me and what I've done because I've already made my peace with God. You understand what I'm saying? So I have that courage and I have that confidence, like the Lord say, be confident. You understand what I'm saying? Walk in confidence. When you got that king blood up in you, when you got that king spirit in you, be truthful. Be of a sound mind. God blessed us with a spirit of courage and love and not fear. So it's a blessing for me. God's been a blessing to me, so I want to be a blessing to y'all. And that's the whole reason why I chose to give my full testimony. I always post stuff on Facebook, and even last year I was posting scriptures, and I say stuff here and there. But I'm gonna make it my business, man. To make more video clips, to change my song. I used to, do a lot of record songs or whatever, and I don't talk about certain things, because I was living that certain type of life. But now my song's gonna be different. My poetry gonna be different because people need to hear this. And if I die, when I die, because I don't know when I'm gonna die. No one knows. Um, at least I got my testimony out to tell people about the Lord. At least I got my testimony out. If I don't do anything else in life, I've got my testimony out. I spoke on the Lord and how real He is and how alive He is. And how He will show up in your life if you just believe and if you ask Him to. If you don't believe in God, okay. Ask Him to reveal Himself to you. Ask the Lord to reveal Himself to you. Reveal Himself to you, and He will. It's so much more that I want to talk about, and I'm not going to talk about because I'm already at 2 hours and 45 minutes. But I'll talk about other things too. But in conclusion, my life has been great. So happy to go pick up my son. You feel me? Every week and every other weekend. You know what I'm saying? And spending time with him. I ended up getting blessed with a better job. I was just working at Lowe's or whatever. Then that next thing, I ended up, matter of fact, when I was at Lowe's, I was there for 3 weeks. And then a position opened for a full-time position because I was part-time working at Lowe's. This is after I rededicated my life to Christ. I was part-time working at Lowe's for 3 weeks. Some of my peers know this. A full-time position open. Now, it was people that been there for years wanting to get a full-time position. I applied for it. And I told my HR that I wanted to, that I was interested in it. And he told me, he said, the store manager says, he asked me, who is that guy? I like him. I'm new. I'm there 3 weeks. I didn't know nothing about the store manager. He didn't know nothing about me except for the work that I was doing for them 3 weeks. But he said he liked me. And I applied for the position, and I got the full-time position out of everybody. And I was only there for 3 weeks. All praise be to God. You understand what I'm saying? All praise be to God, because I believed His word. I believed it. I believed His word. I studied His word. I fasted. I abstained from sex. I abstained from drugs. It's been 2 years, and I ain't smoked a blunt since October the 7th, 2017. No, that's a lie. It ain't been 2017 because I was smoking when I was on a run in Michigan. You know what I'm saying? So that was, I'd say, March 2017. But either way I go, I ain't smoked no reefer since 2017 to 2020. So it's about to be 3 years. Come time October. It's March now. So look at that. Look how good God is, man. Just bless me. And I got the full-time position just like that. I asked him, I said, Lord, just take over. Let you speak from my tongue. And He did that. I said, let the Holy Spirit take control of me. And He did that. I got the job. Then I ended up getting a job at State Farm. I don't know nothing about no insurance. Always done retail all my life, right? Got a job at State Farm, right? They even added, say, hey, but we want to ask you about your background. I said, okay, I'm willing to talk about it. Because although I got acquitted for that criminal case, I still had the interference with a 911 call, and it probably still, I don't know if it still shows, some background check shows what you've been arrested for or whatever, but they probably, but guess what? I said, okay, I'm willing to talk about it. They didn't even talk about it. They just went ahead and hired me. Don't know nothing about no insurance, but I got the job. Been doing good there ever since. Been getting paid. I've never gotten paid what I'm getting paid now. At any job I've ever had, you know what I'm saying, since I've been working, I'm getting paid the most now working at State Farm. And I'm doing well. And then I end up getting a brand new car, 2020. Good, reliable car, a 2020 Toyota. Paying rent, nice, in Atlanta. Living good. Could be doing better. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, things still be tight, but guess what though? You know what I'm saying? I do have a place to stay. I am paying rent. I am paying my car note. You know what I'm saying? And a real nice car, reliable car. I do have a real good job. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I don't have money. You know what I'm saying? But I'm well taken care of. God still takes care of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm still straight. I'm good. And, what I've also learned too, sometimes God ain't going to give it all to you. Sometimes he, like Paul, wanted to get that thorn out of his side. Like, Lord, just take it out. God was like, nah, my grace is suffice. My grace is sufficient. You understand what I'm saying? So there may be certain things that God just don't give you because he still wants you to always come to him. Because maybe if you didn't, maybe if you had everything, then you might not talk to him every day. God is a jealous God. He wants you to talk to him every day. He wants you to pray to him every day. You understand what I'm saying? God wants you to talk. The whole story about the children of Israel, right? When Pharaoh had the children of Israel when it was in Egypt and how he had them captive and in bondage. The whole story about that going on down to generations to come. It was about God showing what he could do for you. It was about God showing who he was and what he could do for you and why he wants you to follow him. God told you, I got you out of bondage. I fed you in the desert. I gave you water in the desert. Serve me. I'm your rock. I'm your savior. I'm your salvation. I created you. I created all things, the heavens and the earth. I got you. So I'm here to tell y'all, no matter what you're going through, God gonna be there for you. He created everything. He created your lips, your eyes, your ears, your head, your teeth. Don't let nobody tell you ugly. God made you. You think somebody ugly, go to God with it. He the one that made you. Don't let nobody tell you that you ugly. You know what I'm saying? You just may not be attractive to them, but God made you. You can do whatever you want to do. If it's something that you can't figure out in this life, don't go to man about it. Ask God. He created all things. Go to the source. If you want to figure something out, go to the one that created all things. And that's God. So I thank y'all for letting me whoever's watching, whoever listening, stay through the whole thing listening. I really appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I should have been did this a long time ago, and I know I said I was gonna do it, but just getting caught up in life, still learning, still being moved by the Spirit. But I'm glad that I had the time, what I'm saying, today to go ahead and speak to y'all and give my full testimony, you know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like God did so much for me, and he brought me from a dark place to where I didn't even want to live no more. I had thought about committing suicide and everything numerous of times. Yeah, me, Steve G, Blue, thought about doing that. So I feel you for those who wanted to commit suicide. I feel you for those who are feeling like there is no hope, or y'all have these big trials coming up against you, these big tribulations coming up against you, but nothing is too big for God. David fought lions and bears and giants and, you know, killed all kind of kings and took over all kind of nations because he had God. So it doesn't matter what you're going through. If your heart broke, went through a divorce, you're going through a custody battle, you're facing time, you lost your job, you're homeless, whatever. I'm telling y'all, man, y'all can get through it. Y'all can get through it. You feel me? You just can't give up. Even when things seem like they ain't going good, man. You know what I'm saying? Even when it get real tough, man, you feel like you want to give up. Don't ever give up, man, because God is there for you, man. You know, he wants you to be strong because you're just like a God yourself. You're a creator yourself. But you got to have faith, man. You got to believe in him. Believe that he's real. Believe that he'll take care of you. Just don't give up. You understand what I'm saying? He's real. And I wouldn't be taking my time out, you know what I'm saying, to tell my business. You feel me? To the world. You know what I'm saying? You know, some things I'm not even proud about. But I would not be doing this, man, if I didn't know for sure that God is real and that God will change your life around. Because the people that know me how I used to be, you know, when I had my braids and, you know, and I was, always, out here thugging it, you know what I'm saying, putting in work, you know what I'm saying, cripping it to the fullest. That's why I got these tats on me. Original Gangster Crip. Loped out. You know what I'm saying? Then I got this one right here. Life goes on. And I got the cross right there, you know what I'm saying? Because life goes on only through Christ. But those that know, you know what I'm saying, they know how I used to be. And how I am now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very humbled, you feel me? And all praise be to God that he delivered me, you know what I'm saying, from my road of darkness. You know what I mean? And he did a 360 on me, you feel me? And I'm not perfect, you know. I love Jesus Christ. I love Jehovah God. I love the Holy Spirit. They are one. I know that. Can't nobody tell me no difference, you know. I'm not going to argue with nobody about it. You know, if you don't want to believe it, you don't have to. You'll find out when you die. But I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make some more videos and tell more about my life story. Other little events that happened in my life. I'm going to start, finishing up my documentary on social injustices. I'm putting out a poetry book. And I'm gonna work on, working on a movie about me and my brothers, my four brothers, you know what I'm saying, how we came up or whatever. And now that I've gotten this out the way, you know what I'm saying, my testimony, I can focus on the gifts that God gave me that I put to the side and couldn't do because, I had lost my passion for music and film and everything, and I was doing so much, fighting court cases, trying to stay out of jail and trying to, get custody of my kid, but I got all that in order, and God has me in a place now where I can teach, where I can give counsel, where I can tell people, man, about the realness, you know what I'm saying? Because if a cat like me, you know what I'm saying, who was fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Excuse my French. If he could take a cat like me and turn me all the way around, because I was cripping hardcore every day. Blue ragged up, slanging and banging, you know what I'm saying? Every day. Didn't care. You know what I'm saying? But I changed. And I could not have done that if God didn't touch me. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And don't get it twisted. You feel me? If you see me acting any other way than godly, guess what? You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. The only perfect one is Jesus. That was the only perfect man was Jesus. I'm not perfect. I slip up sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But I get back up and I correct myself. And I am one to humble myself, you know what I'm saying? And and be real with myself. Say, hey, I was wrong. Yeah, I shouldn't talk like that. Or yeah, maybe I shouldn't have fornicated with that person. You know, I slipped up on that. You know what I'm saying? So I thank y'all, you know what I'm saying? Whoever's watching, if this, you know, I know I got Facebook friends or whatever, you know what I'm saying, Instagram friends and all this and that, you feel me? Um, if I've stirred somebody the wrong way, you feel me, or if I've sinned with you, you know what I'm saying, I apologize. You know what I'm saying? And forgive me, you know what I'm saying, for leading you in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? Forgive me for leading you into darkness. You know what I'm saying? Because it was wrong. You feel me? That's not God-like, but I love myself. I love God, I love myself, and I love all y'all enough to be able to tell y'all that. So I really appreciate y'all. I try to be as transparent as possible. I know it's a lot of things I did not talk about, but like I said, I got more videos coming. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if any one of y'all have questions, you know what I'm saying, if y'all want to talk, y'all want to pray together, you know what I'm saying, we can do that. That's what real men do. You know what I'm saying? That's what real G's do. You feel me? We help one another. You know what I'm saying? We pray together. You feel me? We be here for each other. So, like I say, if y'all want to reach out to me. Hit me up. My email, sgills66@gmail.com. You know, just holler back. You feel me? If y'all want to call me or whatever, email me first. You know what I'm saying? And I exchange my number. We can talk. We can pray. That's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all listening to me give my full testimony. I hope that, you know what I'm saying, it helps. You feel me? If y'all have any, like I said, any questions, feel free, you know what I'm saying, to hit me up. If I didn't make certain things clear, or if I skipped something while I was talking, you know what I'm saying, because it was a lot. Yeah, you want to get some clarity on certain things, man, feel free to hit me up. Like I say, my email is sgills, that's SGILLS 66@gmail.com. Or you can go to my company email, crownedentertainment.llc@gmail.com. I love y'all. Peace and love. All praise be to God. And I really do appreciate y'all for listening to my testimony. One love. Peace.